this not playing Forbidden Land stuff for a month is not okay. Like,
Unacceptable.
it is absolutely
Unacceptable.
unacceptable. 18 episodes. Someone in the chat, I think it was Coda, said Forbidden Land stream is now old enough to get its own OnlyFans.
The truly Forbidden Lands.
Oh God.
Oh, but so we're ended at a not cliffhanger, which I think is something a
Well-
little bit different. You guys met a woman and her son on the road. I think making decisions about whether you're going to head toward these mines or not. I think one decision was definitely made, which is a little R&R would be nice, right? A little bit of downtime, maybe find some arrows that we can purchase.
That'd be great.
Because poor Sten is arrowless at this point. So you guys made camp after talking to this woman and the little boy. It was a nice exchange. They seemed very, very nice. The one standout interesting point was, which the mother didn't seem to want to talk about much, was the little boy had a play friend, apparently outside of the Stone Loom mines. So Sten decided he was going to hop into the tent. Osric went into the tent, as did Vasilla, and good old Aldrich, being really good at keeping watch for that last quarter day, just staying up and just keeping his eyes on the hills. Let's start there. So, Aldrich, it's really dark out, and you feel the first couple drops on your face, and then you realize that your eyes were closed, and you open them, and you're still leaning against the tree, and the drops on your face appears to be rain. So a bit of a drizzle. And off to the east, you can see the orange fill the skies. Not really clear when you fell asleep, but you did. And I think, considering the past 2 days, let alone 2 weeks, it just may have just overtaken you. Everybody else had a full night's sleep as well. So I'd like first if everybody renew their attributes.
Oh, I assumed he was going to wake up when we were all dead because.
I've only talked about Aldrich.
Okay.
And remember, you
Renew
don't
your
die from
attributes.
attributes. You die
In
from critical
hell.
injuries.
Right.
So Aldrich, you see the fire. The smoke is going up, but the fire is gone. Tough to say how long it's been out.
I think Aldrich kind of stands, stretches everything out, a little sore because, wasn't really laying down, kind of leaned up against a tree. Just kind of takes account of everything,
And everything is pretty much how you remembered it when you were keeping watch, except where the woman and the child were sleeping. They had rolled themselves up in a nice little bedroll by the fire. And the horse is gone as well. So no sign of the bedroll, no sign of the kind of the shoulder messenger bag type pack that she was carrying and pulling the items out from. And the other tree that was on the other side of where the campfire was, the tree's there, but no sign of the kind of the old pack horse that they had.
Okay. I guess just looks like they up and left.
They're not there.
Okay. The Gadammer's Peak safe. I'll start probably moving over to the big tent. And actually, no, I think Aldrich would probably see if I can remuster what's left of the fire and probably start working on breakfast for everybody.
Great. So yeah, the it's a light drizzle, but the wood has not been soaked yet, so you'll be able to get a fire started. And if the rain doesn't get much, doesn't really kind of kick up, looking up in this, you see no stars at all. So obviously, even though there's not quite enough light yet, the cloud cover is pretty obvious. The muted moonlight is starting to fade as the sun rises. But yeah, you can definitely start a fire.
Okay. Yeah, I think, and then about after a bit, after I get a fire going, I'd probably then go check on everybody, make sure everyone's okay. You know, because I was on such diligent watch.
Okay, so you head into the tent.
Mhm.
Are we present?
I mean, everyone in the tent.
Everybody's in the tent.
Oh,
Okay,
good.
that's good. That's good. That's a
Phew,
plus.
We're all alive. One more night in the Forbidden Lands.
All right.
I'd probably go to Sten first. I know he rises early.
Sten's probably already awake and just mustering the energy to get his old bones out of the bedroll.
Yeah. How you feeling, young man?
Well, doing all right.
You got
Everything
fire
under
going
control out there?
Oh yeah, quiet night.
Yep, good. Gonna go out and do the best he can to limber himself up a little bit.
And you notice that the camp is like 2 people and a horse.
Okay. Well, so they headed off then?
Yeah, just kind of took off.
Okay.
Hope they make it safe.
Yep. Seemed like good people.
Look good.
Yeah, I'm used to it. Worried about running around with no arrows, but that's what I get for not taking better care.
It happens. Supplies run
Yeah.
short.
Yeah,
I'm sure
never
we
learned
can-
how to make my own. I probably should have.
I'm sure we can figure something out.
And there's no doubt in my mind that Vasil and Osric obviously have awoken at this point as well.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Mm.
Craig, as I noticed that they've departed, we don't see any sorts of signs of struggle or anything like that they would have been.
So Osric, you go over there, and you can see where they were, right? So you can see kind of where the grass is matted down. And I don't know, maybe with all of the stuff you've seen over the last 2 weeks, knowing that they were real at some point and had weight, I think brings a little bit of relief.
That's what I was worried about.
So that's, that's a relief. And going over, you don't see any sign of a struggle there. You go over to where the horse was. You can see, some of the hoofs tracks. You can see that the tracks then lead off to the east, as that they said that they were going to head over to Amber's Peak. So by all signs and by a test from Aldrich,
Sure.
they packed up and they headed out.
Yeah, and again, I don't think I was like looking deeply, but just at as one glances around to see, I just want to make
Yeah.
sure that if we see indicative signs of a struggle, then we'd have to address that in some way.
If there was a struggle, I would have noticed.
Obviously, that's true.
You were on watch,
but-
so yeah.
Right.
Oh, you didn't get
Obviously, we all
a
would've
second
been-
granddaughter this time, Stan. She left you. You're losing your charm, buddy.
I believe it was
The little boy.
was Tannis. Yeah, Tannis was a boy. Last thing I need is another child in this group to take care of.
Yeah,
Oh,
Aldrich's
jeez.
hard enough. It's true.
Not wrong.
All right, so I'm gonna I guess, do we want to do like hang out here and train? Do we want to go further away from Amber's Peak? Because we're like, what, 2 days we like hard pressed, or 1 day are we hard pressed away from Amber's Peak?
I don't think we're that far away from Amber's Peak. I think we
Yeah,
are
we're like
a quarter day
Things are
away.
like closer in the
two or
broader
three segments away.
Yeah, let's take a quick look. Let's go over to the world map real quick.
I think we're like a quarter day away from Amber's Peak, but I might
Because
just be
I do
No,
think
yeah,
the group.
you're less than a quarter day. It
Oh,
is
Lord.
just southeast of you
Yeah,
there.
we have not gone far.
So we probably want to put
a little more distance between where
a
we
couple
were and
miles
where we are.
between us and dragon and/or people that hate us because they think we brought a dragon to them.
What?
And or people who might be
Oh.
tracking us because we may have injured their allies.
Yeah, and
Big
we also
part of
just let people go. I mean, Aldrich saw them leave, and they were going to the place, and they're certainly tell them that we were here.
I mean, Sten told them to tell them they said hi, so.
So let's move. Let's no one wants to walk through the rain, but
Excellent.
And we haven't seen any sign of a river or anything around here that we could potentially follow to another settlement.
No, kind of keeping track of things that you had the river to the north of you that you had already crossed on your way to Amber's Peak. And that was a lake that, if you remember, you walked along the coast of that lake. And as part of what was feeding that lake was also the river that was running by Amber's Peak as well.
Right.
And that seems to be sourced from the mountains. So right now, the closest thing you have to water either would be likely going north or heading to the southeast. Now, Aldrich's map shows that the mountain range that's to your east, southeast is, you'd be able to get around the north side of those mountains in, maybe a day or so if you, traveled the entire time.
And that's where we think these mines are.
Yeah, looking at the map, it looks like the mines are almost like a mirror image to Amber's Peak. So as the Amber's Peak is on the east side of this mountain range, it appears the Stone Loom mines, according to Marigold's map, is right on the exact opposite side.
Well, I guess we probably want to head north in the mountains anyway. I'd love to find a village or someplace, but guess we'll move on. How are all y'all doing on supplies? Are we
well,
in
on a
need
scale
of food?
between food and your arrows, I would say I'm at food.
Yeah. I mean, food and water seem fine here. I just want to make sure we're
A little better.
we got what
protected.
we need. Yeah.
Cut down some trees or something. Can you make your weapon?
Nah, I never really learned to keep them straight.
You had some good
It was easy.
craftsmen in Oak and
Yeah, it
Harpy,
was easy
Dave.
enough to
Yeah.
just buy them.
Yeah.
Trade them for some pelts, but
All right. Well,
Are we packing up camp?
Craig, as I pack up and I guess arm up and things, I just want to make sure that in this stolen chainmail and shield, that if there's anything that is a significant visual indicator of
Rust Brotherhood.
brotheriness,
No.
I would
Most
like
of the time they just wore like medallions, right?
Yeah.
I just want to
Yeah,
make
so
sure that if
what
there was
was
something that is a symbol, I would try to scuff that out or remove that from what is the armor.
does not appear to be any kind of
Okay.
symbols of rust on there.
Okay.
poorly taken care of armor, very rusty. All right. Well, pack up the tent, get ourselves fed and coffeeed, or what did you call it? Whatever, however many sessions ago when you made coffee part of the world. Black
Great.
tea or something.
So do we want to take this quarter day to kind of eat and pack up? Or do you want to kind of eat on the road? What are we thinking?
Well, I think as a group we need to make choice, right? We have
Right.
competing desires between like need to make some space between us and terribleness,
right.
and want to take some time to like
Let's-
breathe it out and do some training, right?
Let's get a little farther away before we
Yeah.
take too much time off.
Right. If the storm hits, like we can
Yeah,
try to.
that'd be a good time to stop.
Yeah.
And we think we're headed northwest.
Northwest, yeah.
Northwest, yeah.
Okay. Let's go ahead and bring up the group sheet then. And let's get our rolls ready. So for those of you that are watching, they're not familiar. One of the things that's kind of really neat about Forbidden Lands is how it handles travel. Everybody there's different slots and roles they can take. They can just hike, they can kind of scout, make way. And what they'll do now is each of them will take a roll, ROLE, and then make a roll to see how successful they are on that. So Sten, what are we going to be doing?
Presumably leading the way.
Okay, so that's great for somebody like who's a hunter. It's a survival role, and that's basically his ability to kind of find a safe path. He's a bit of the scout in the role here. So let's go ahead and start there.
Okay. This is there.
Nice.
3 successes.
This is easy.
All right. Osric?
Well,
hiking?
Osric is hiking, and unfortunately, Osric is also over encumbered, and as such, must
Same.
make an endurance roll in order to do so.
I can
right.
carry a thing for someone at the moment. I've got some room in my pack.
If you can carry a thing and a half, then it matters.
Nope, I can only carry a thing.
So I will make an endurance roll, which
Great.
I think is the same as forced march. So I'm just going to click.
Yeah,
that button.
yeah, I'm good with that. Or you can just do it right from your sheet if you want.
Oh dear.
Excellent.
So you've got no successes and a bane.
So I don't think I want to push it, and let me just real quick double check on what it says, because I think I'm going to have to take a point of.
It was
Point of
strength.
agility
Strength or
damage.
agility.
I think it's
Agility.
a point of agility.
Okay.
Yep.
Right, because the
let's see.
Banes were on strength.
'Cause the
and
Banes are on strength,
Failing
and-
it was on agility. That's what you were saying.
Yep.
Okay.
So I
On
will-
the plus side, that might give us a reason to stop and train. You know.
Aldrich,
So-
what role are you taking, my friend?
As usual,
Bright-eyed
I'm
and bushy-tailed.
bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, capable of keeping watch.
Yes,
I
very observant.
also am over encumbered. So should I do the?
So you'll end up, because one thing that's about keeping watch as well as make way is that you can hike and do those roles at the same time, right? So you're going to be
Right.
obviously not standing there keeping watch. You're going to be doing both.
Yeah.
So we can do it in either order. So let's do the keep watch.
Sure. Okay.
And that means that Aldrich is the one who's got his head on a swivel as they're traveling through. So as Sten is concentrating on making sure we're going to, oh, wait, no, this is a better place to be going through here. Watch out for the brambles and so on and so forth. Aldrich is keeping his eyes open.
And Aldrich has not learned well enough that having the helmet on makes this harder. So he's going to roll with a -2 modifier.
Oi.
And with the -2 modifier, you did not.
It's -2 to your successes. Oh,
No,
that's how that
no, I would
Should have been just
expect
by-
-2 dice.
Yeah, it would be
Yeah, you
-2
roll
dice.
ones.
Did you type in -2 or what did you?
Oh,
it
it's counting
automatically
that-
applied
it's-
it.
It's counting that Bane
Ah.
against you.
Oh, that's what it is. Right, because what is your
No.
There's a
because it's
negative die.
Oh, you lost 2 dice, so you are,
right.
and you only had 1 skill die to begin with.
Ooh.
that correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
lost
so
2
that
and are
that
now on
6
the
was
negative
bad
side.
for you.
That's
on
6
the
You are
side.
no
successes.
longer on
Successful 6.
scouting.
Take the
dude,
damn
with your
helmet off.
Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this dang helmet.
All right, so put it in your backpack.
I think I am. Well, I'm gonna
Backpack,
push this.
backpack.
I'm gonna do it honest.
All right.
We're gonna do this honest. So I'm gonna try to push it.
Hey.
Well,
No.
I'll take a
All right,
damage.
so
to get
you'll
a
take 1
willpower, but
damage to wits.
Do not succeed in the roll. And then I guess I'll go ahead and do the force march.
Yep, and then do the force march to see if you take any agility damage.
I guess I'll just do an endurance roll. I can't
Or
click
do
it
an
'cause I'm
endurance
not
roll, yep.
in the hike roll. I can pass that though.
Very nice. So you're all set there with 2 successes. Vasilla, are you encumbered? Are you
Nope.
loose and fancy free? So you don't have
I-
anything to roll or anything.
I'm just below my encumbered line.
Just skipping along from Glen to Hill.
I can't even play my loot to help you out because no, I can because I gave you back the scepter and now I have my loot.
Yep.
Sharpening her daggers.
I probably am singing a jaunty tune.
All right, so
Would you like
let's go
this one
ahead.
again. Jesus.
Let's travel. So the first half of the first quarter day, Sten is struggling, making sure he can see, everything going with all these new lands, but is able to take the path through. Osric, I'm imagining as you're kind of hiking through these hills at the foothills of these mountains, kind of pushing your way through, you see something drop and he picks it up and tries to secure it back again and feel a bit of a crick in your back as just the weight of everything as you're pushing along. Um, Aldrich, how do we want to RP this keep watch failure? Is it what is preventing Aldrich from really seeing something up ahead before something ahead sees you?
Hmm.
You fell asleep last night. What distracted you today?
I think he's just got thinking a lot about what happened at Amber's Peak, so he's just not on very alert, you know. He's just kind of like in his own head, like he's kind of looking up a bit more than like, you know, big threats up in the air now for Aldrich. Less focused on more realistic problems,
Are
perhaps.
you looking behind, or instead of like watching where we're going?
Well, I'm
are
also
you doing a lot
I'm
of,
also got
like-
kind of blinders on with this helmet, so it's like
Mhm.
I'm not realizing how much of my vision this
He's
is
doing
cutting
he's
out.
doing a lot of eye looking, but it's not working.
I'm imagining Osric noticing how uncomfortable Aldrich is wearing this helmet, and he almost looks like a strange cosplayer, trying to with his head rattling around in this big helmet.
I think it's just like a pot. You know?
Exactly.
I feel so safe though.
Sten, as you're hiking through,
Mhm.
I would like a survival roll if I could.
Another one? Okay, I can do
would.
that.
No, thank you, sir.
Survival. I don't think my talents add to the roll in any of those, only when I'm hunting. Okay.
So as you're hiking, it's tall grass, just shy of your hips, coming up to kind of Vasila's collarbone.
Mhm.
Nothing seems strange. Birds are flying. The sun is rising, though it's being hit by the clouds. You have a sense, Sten, that this light drizzle is probably the worst it's going to get. Looking ahead at the clouds, there's no darkening clouds. You're not hearing rolling, rumbling, or anything along those lines. But you do notice tracks,
Mhm.
and they're like cart tracks, and some are older, some are newer. You see horse tracks, and kind of based on what you're seeing, you can see that there has been travel here, travel as soon as yesterday, maybe, or the day before. And, based off some broken branches and things like that, you get a sense that this is a well-traveled area.
Okay.
Now
Can I tell like which way people are going?
yeah, so
Or we're going?
of course, the mountains are really now mostly to your south now. So you're
Uh-huh.
almost at the kind of the top of the northern part of this mountain range, which is not a huge mountain range by any stretch
Right.
of the imagination, but it was mountainous. And as best as you can tell, it seems the travel seems to be back and forth from the southwest to the north.
Okay. And some of it's pretty recent. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, some of it could have been easily even yesterday.
Hmm. And when we were looking at the map earlier, there was a settlement to the north. Was that the Hollows? That
The
one was,
Hollows
I
is
think,
to the
number
north.
4 on the map. Yeah.
No, that
So,
number 4 on the map, no, that was not the Hollows.
okay.
The Hollows is up towards the north there.
Okay.
And you definitely could go back to the Hollows if you'd like.
Sure. That's a little bit of a
It's-
hike from where we
it's,
are now.
They'd probably give us arrows.
So let me do this. Let me bring you guys back to the map so you can zoom out and kind of
That'd
get
be
a better
great.
sense. Yep. So if
Yeah.
you zoom out there a little bit, and I'm going to bring
That
it up
fog of
further.
war, like straight north of us, is in fact the Hollows, right?
Well, no, I'm thinking there's a number 4 across the river to the north, beyond the fog of
Number
war.
4.
Yeah, I'm seeing a number 4 on the hex.
You mean to the
Not
southwest?
No, I see that number 4, but also if you go north across the fog of war, across the river,
Oh, do you
there's a
not see
village.
that the
Oh,
hollows
that
at the
number 4 is the
Yeah,
hollows.
that's the
Yeah.
Is it?
hollows.
Sorry,
Okay.
I didn't see that number 4. It's very small until
Okay,
I
well,
zoom in and okay.
yeah, I didn't
there's
see
a
it
4 in the
labeled,
corner.
but okay, that's what I thought. Okay,
There's
cool.
also a
Yeah,
number
so
4 by Oakenheart.
you're about a day's hike from the hollows.
Okay.
Small reminder, I think they hate us there. Just
I mean,
that
only
when I
the
say
dwarf
they'll
boasts.
when I say they'll
hate
give
is a
us
strong
arrows,
word.
I mean they'll shoot them at us.
Look, I wasn't
Yeah,
here for that. There was a
catch 'em as they're
different
coming at you.
Vasella. It's fine.
Mhm.
They're like, here's some arrows. You can keep those.
Yes, fine. All right. Well, anyway, I'll tell these folks. It looks like it's some kind of a trade route at least. Probably. At a guess, I'd say going from the hollows to these mines, but there might be something else along the way. I don't know if it's
Hmm.
enough to make us change course right now.
People of the hollows weren't too crazy about getting out and trading, though.
Well, the what's his name,
wonder if
Yavin,
there's-
the brewmaster was.
Yeah, Yawen was
Yeah, that's true.
definitely up for that, but I think he was planning on sticking to the river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one quick reminder, and you can kind of see it on the map there, Sten, and you guys knew it because you were at the hollows. There was a branch to that river that went south, right?
Yeah.
So you guys kind of followed it east to west,
Oh,
and got to those marshlands, if you remember, off to the
Okay.
east.
Right.
I
But
cannot
there
quite
was
see that on the map.
there
but I
was
believe you.
there was a branch in that river that ran to the south of the hollows, and part of what was feeding that was a river coming into the hollows from the south. Now, it's possible that its source is also the mountains in the same way the Amber Peak river was. Hard to say.
Well, what do you think? Do you want to turn north, see if there's anything along that river, or because I mean, if we're going to these mines, and it sounds like we are, there's gonna be trouble, and I'd rather not
Yeah,
go there with an empty quiver, and we could stand
We can
some
run
rest and
north, right? If we
recovery.
think the tracks head north are probably to the town and to the south or to the mine, then we can go to the north.
Yeah, I'm guessing, Craig. I can't tell which way the most recent tracks were going. There was only one success on the
Yeah,
survival roll.
I'd let you do another survival roll if you want to kind of dig into that a little bit, Sten.
I mean, yeah, I would certainly try.
Yeah, and in my mind, here's how I'm going to justify that, and tell me if you're okay
Mhm.
with it. Is the first time is just general, right? Just kind of keeping
Mhm.
your eyes open, being a tracker and an outdoorsman. Now you've I found these tracks, and now I'm going to get on one knee.
In particular, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really going to focus on this. So I'm more than happy with another survival roll.
Many buffalo.
Many buffalo.
One more.
Definitely seems to be coming from the southwest to the north is the most recent.
Okay.
But it seems like it's been pretty even
Mhm.
over the last couple weeks or so. So the most recent tracks, some are heading south, some appear to be heading north, and it's really the shape of the horse hoof tracks that are kind of giving you a sense of that.
Okay. Well, so I guess the question is, do we head north a little more, or do we rest up here and try and get ourselves a little better situated? I think if nothing else, I got room in my pack since I'm not carrying Vasilla's lyre. I can actually carry a thing and a half if that would help make somebody's life easier.
It would make one of our lives easier, I'm sure, but certainly not both.
Sure.
I think it'd be nicer to stay at an inn than out on the road.
Well, let's see
Agreed.
if we can find one then.
And we think that north is more likely to have a place that is that.
When you go far enough north, you're going to hit the hollows.
Sure,
That is
but we want to
correct.
try and find
I guess
something before then.
yeah, the question is, do we think that there's something between? And of course, we don't know.
I mean, we
yeah,
don't know, and
we don't know how
if
far
there's
it
a
is
river,
exactly.
there's a better
I-
chance of them being there than just off in the plains.
Yeah,
here.
Sold.
I would hypothesize there's something between here and the Hollows, just because like the people of the Hollows didn't get out much.
Right.
That's
I'm on
my
the
that's
bus.
my thought on the matter. They didn't seem to be much for leaving the Hollows.
And Sten's fifth grandchild that left us in the middle of the night, like they said there was nothing, they didn't run into a town
That's true.
between the
They didn't
mines
run
and
into
here,
a town
right?
on the way
So
here. Okay,
Mhm.
I am on
Well-
board with this northbound plan.
All right.
All right, so we're heading north. Let's do some
Onward
fresh
to the
roll.
north.
Before
So
we
take-
move into our next quarter day, I'd
Mhm.
approach Sten,
yeah.
or I'd
Go
kind
ahead.
of, I'd not even Sten. I'm going to pull the scepter out, and I hate to pass on the baton, but if someone could carry it for me.
well, I can do it.
You sure?
I just need someone else to carry, I don't know, like here's my fishing line. I'm not fishing right now.
All right, so what are we
Yeah,
going to
sure,
do?
I'll put it in my pack.
All right, so let me hold on. We're going to take Scepter over to Vasilla. So that's done. So I can get rid of the Scepter there. That still leaves you encumbered. You're still a half encumbered.
I can take a half from you.
And
if
then
something like-
so what damage is Vasilla taking? She's taking damage to which for carrying the Scepter?
Agility and wits.
Okay.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And then Sten is taking from Vasilla the fishing line and hook.
That might not get me there because it's only light. Yeah, I've got to go with the lyre. Sorry.
Okay.
The
that's
light
fine.
normal thing is still
Yeah.
All right. So give me
still
just a
learning the
second.
systems.
All right. So we have got an unencumbered Sten.
And then Aldrich, if you've got something light, you can pass over.
And then there we've got an unencumbered.
I could pass you some of my lamp oil for now.
Sure.
Okay, great. So let's bring up Sten. Let's grab a lamp oil, give it to Sten. Delete a lamp oil. Look at that.
Thank
That's what you
Sten.
come here, folks. Inventory management.
That's right. That's right.
Gripping
Pretty exciting
theater.
stuff.
Swear to God, next
Nothing.
quarter day, I am building pack rat.
Nothing creates great streaming like managing encumbrance.
Exactly.
Very, very well known fact. So, as all of this exchanging is going on, as we're
Mhm.
lightening the load and really kind of getting Aldrich, you know, a little less unencumbered. Nobody's asking Ostrich, right?
Osric is over
He's
here
a
with
big,
this
strong boy.
stupid shield. He's got shuffling around. He's got, all this other the tent of all things. He's got.
Listen, Osric's
Osric.
half mule. He'll be fine.
Osric, we really need to teach you how to pack your stuff.
and he's
better.
just grumbling,
Exactly.
and definitely I get the feeling that the next time we get that opportunity, he's going to have a conversation about maybe we should pack this tent a little better.
Yes, yes, we should.
You gotta roll
Like,
it tight.
Surely, we got to roll this thing up and get it
Mhm.
tighter, because clearly the last person who packed this thing, it's just everywhere.
Yeah.
Osric's like, we're
I
getting rid
feel
of this
attacked.
glamping. We're not doing
feel
any
attacked, Jim.
glamping at all.
I'm sure your tents are very well packed.
Like, why do we have this extra cover for just gaming under so we don't get rained on? It's heavy.
That never
Get rid of
happens.
it.
let me let you in on the inside joke. So both Dave and Jim are part of Camping for Gamers, which twice a year a group of us go out and camp and game for a week. So that's nothing. And again, you know what else makes a great stream is inside jokes that nobody but
Yes.
3 people playing, not watching, would get. All right. So heading north, northeast, northwest.
Due north, I believe.
All right, let's do
north.
due north.
Or
Let's do our
well, going whichever way the tracks are, which I think is due north.
is due north. Yep.
All right, I will begin leading the way.
Let's do a lead the way.
Are you helmeting or not helmeting?
I think at this point, Aldrich's realized, like, I'm taking this damn thing off.
Yeah. If we get attacked by something,
my
you'll have
eyes.
time to put it back on.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Or I won't even bother. Just my head.
Right.
Hmm.
So having some trouble really trying to kind of
Well,
navigate your way there, Sten.
I mean, it's my last willpower, but I haven't rolled any beans yet. I'll just push it. Push it real
Yeah.
good.
All right. So I'm imagining, Sten, you kind of go to the left for the while, and you realize too much foliage, too much
Yeah,
kind
we're
of
gonna have to go
treacherous, and
back
say, you know what,
around.
yeah, let's try this. You backtrack a little bit and kind of redirect everybody as they hike. Rain again, still light. Obviously, the sun is up. We're getting close to lunchtime. Aldrich, are we going to do a less restricted?
Yeah, a less bad keep watch.
Doesn't help,
Maybe.
but
Let's push it.
All right, so
No
we're going to
multi here.
concentrate a little bit more, try to get a little
Oh
bit
my
more
gosh.
focused. All right, and
Oh,
that
just-
takes 1 damage to wits with that bane.
Still all over the place.
turns
And
out
then
without the
I-
helmet on, you get a lot of glare in your eyes.
I need an endurance roll from poor Osric, who's hiking, carrying everybody's tent, and
Oh, for the love of Pete.
not a single success, but a bane. Are we going to push this, Osric?
Let me.
I love this game.
Yes, I'm gonna push this roll.
Oh my
You
god.
could
Jim's
definitely.
gonna do it again. He's gonna
This is the-
die fishing.
This is the building willpower part of the game. Oh,
Amazing.
oh.
So he's left with 2 banes, which results in him taking 2 damage to his strength. What does that do for you? Your strength was what to what?
My strength goes from 5 to 3. And because
I thought you were encumbered before.
because I failed the endurance roll, I have still not quite chosen to drop my things. And I'm taking another point of agility damage because I am super frustrated with all of these pack things and stumbling with my toes and all of these things.
So as you guys kind of get out of the foothills or headed north away from the mountains, this leg of the trip is kind of kicking the shit out of Osric a
All
little bit.
uphill. It's
And
all
I'd like
uphill.
to know why. So talk to me, Jim, about why is this damaging Osric so much?
Well,
What's different than the
and
first
I think
leg?
what is different than a lot of what we've been doing with walking before is that he's wearing mail armor and carrying a shield, which is not a thing that he's really used to doing. And so the weight of this significant armor and the just how it moves and how it carries and these sorts of things is just very draining on him in terms of this is not something that he's done before. He's used to a much lighter studded leather and certainly not having the shield strapped to his back or what have you. And so all those things are this just constantly trying to adjust and making all of these sorts of things so that he can chafing on mail
Ugh.
pieces and just
Oh,
awful.
Oh, the chafe.
The worst.
So you guys are headed north and really getting into a much deeper grasslands. In fact, almost to the point, Vasilla, that you're at a few times as you're traveling or kind of have to tippy toe a little bit. Otherwise, you feel like you're going through like a cornstalk rows where you really can't see a whole lot. You've got making sure that Osric, who's not the fastest person right now, staying with him and keeping track as you work.
You should sit on Osric's shoulders. He should carry you, and that'll make it go better.
That'll help. It'll definitely
I
help.
mean, you know what we need more of?
You could
Yoda
carry the
training
tent, and I'll
sequences.
just carry you.
Right. I can't carry the tent, Mr. Frodo.
So poor Osric working his way through it. Everybody's going. Sten is really, you finally have found the best place to get there, knowing that if you go far enough north, you guys are going to get to the hollows. So the clouds start to part. By no means have you worked your way into a forest, but there's more trees. And Sten, you notice that some of these are older trees, large trees with pretty wide trunks. Aldrich, when you keep watch, I'm obviously head on a swivel, but where do you and we really haven't talked about this, right? Obviously, Sten would be ahead, and he might be several paces ahead as he kind of is navigating through. I don't get a sense of how the other 3 of you, when you're traveling, and obviously it's going to vary, right? It's not like you're marching in the military, but I want to get a sense of where everybody is as you guys are working north for no particular reason.
Yeah, are you implying we need a marching order or something along those lines?
Well, like, so
I know.
what how does and I guess what I'm really asking is how does Aldrich keep watch, right?
Mhm.
Is he everybody's watching, he's kind of doing a perimeter search as he's going? Is he
I
stop,
think
look?
that's kind of it. I think Aldrich has a pretty quick pace normally, just because I think he is probably the tallest of the group. I would imagine. I don't know if
Yeah, he's definitely the
Osric's pretty
tallest.
big, yeah.
yeah,
I think he's almost a half inch or so taller than even Ostrich.
yeah. So like he's got a pretty long stride, so he kind of uses that to his advantage a lot of the time, where he'll kind of get ahead of everyone who isn't Sten. Like he'll try to let Sten keep the lead. He'll kind of almost catch up to Sten, and then he'll slow his pace and then fall back and just kind of have this natural wave and kind of again do the head on the swivel, just making sure at all times I'm kind of on this gradual wave where I'm keeping an eye on things and making sure I'm not losing anybody too is a lot of
Right.
it. Aldrich
So,
tends to be very careful about not losing people.
and you're doing a good job keeping track of everybody. As you go, I'm trying to think of how this would unfold for you. You hear what first sounds like maybe a gust of wind, kind of a, and maybe not enough to be non-environmental.
Hmm.
Then you feel the tug, and it almost pulls on your backpack a little bit, which obviously stops you, but really, Sten hasn't noticed, Ostrich hasn't noticed, nor has Vasilla, but they do hear this. Give me! It is right above your head. This screechy voice says, give me! Causing, and it's so loud, it's causing everybody that's close to swing their head. Sten, Ostrich, and Vasilla, it may not be the same ones, but you've seen these before. These huge carrion vulture type creatures with these, imagine just these huge things, and with these women's heads, these just ghoulish women's heads, and one is got its claws into the back of Aldrich's backpack and is yanking and pulling back on it, but you see two others kind of carrion circling above him.
I think reflexively, just to kind of get us kicked off, I think Aldrich would try to throw a punch.
With his arm that's not there, he's just like,
Oh yeah, the other one. This one.
Sucks.
Give me just 1 second, guys. I'm going to get everything set up. I apologize.
Oh,
Very good.
goody.
We are going to do initiative here in just a second.
Oh.
So from a meta level, we've got, these are not the same harpies you saw before, but they are in fact harpies. So you've seen these critters before, just not this one. These ones. There are 3 of them. 2 are circling. One has got its grip on Aldrich. Let's get you all out and let's start. There's Aldrich. There's Ostrich. There is Sten. There is Vasilla. Oh, what the heck? I fixed Vasilla.
It's classic.
Oh well,
Vasilla.
you get old Vasilla
It's
token for
classic
now.
Vasilla.
Sorry, she's waiting for a
Vintage.
big reveal.
not Vasilla, not Vasilla.
New Vizilla.
0.
Yeah.
New Scylla.
All right, get everybody selected. Boy, yeah, I am. There we go. Let's go to combat. All right, I am ready for initiative when you are.
Sure.
I always goof this. I know how to do this, I swear.
The little die on the character portrait.
Yep, you can also go to the little cross swords next to chat and hit the
Ah, okay,
die
there we
there.
are. That was
All
much
right.
faster than usual.
Let's roll for the harpies.
Oh no.
No.
Oh boy, I apologize. My foundry is lagging.
Can I just roll for the harpies? I sure can't. Remind me if we count up or down.
One
Believe
is
it's low to high.
yeah, low to high. All
I
right.
rolled a
So my Chrome is being a jerk. So I am going to quickly close everything.
Man, we are. Maybe it was too prideful. Maybe too many things to do. But I'm like, now we're all beat
There
up
we
from
go.
walking.
From walking.
Oh, one of those harpies just died.
That happened.
Things
Yeah.
happen.
All right. There we go. All right. So we have got right now we've got a harpy going first. We have got Sten and Vasilla, 2 more harpies, and then we've got Aldrich and we've got Osric. So a couple things real quick before we start combat. You have the ability to switch out. Players can switch out their initiative slots. So right now they've got slot 2, 3, and then the last 2 slots. So do we want to do any change to the slots?
I feel like someone who can do something constructive should take Sten's slot because he's not real useful right now.
As well as Vasilla's. But I know you're beat up, Osric, but like I feel like we're not in great fighting shape, so we're just gonna do the best we can, right? So
All right, Aldrich, do you want to go first, and I'll go second?
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
And then you two can
Yeah,
figure
go
out
ahead
who's
and put
going
me
last.
first of us, so I can, I guess, throw a punch
Deal
or
with-
see if I
deal
can
with
get
harpy
my
number one.
axe.
All right, so I'm going to put you at 1 or at 2.
and then Osric will go 3.
Oh, I'm so frustrated right now.
It's gonna be okay, Greg.
Having issues?
Yeah, because
All right, we know it. So we've got Aldrich second, and then we got Vasilla third. Are we keeping Vasilla there? Or are we going Osric third?
well, Osric and I are gonna switch, so it'll
Yeah, I'll go
be
third.
it'll be
We're basically
Aldrich-
switching the groups.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful.
Aldrich, do a thing.
Harpy does. Well, Harpy's got to go first.
Oh, that's right. Harpy has to do a thing.
Yep, Harpy is
Harpy,
going to
do a
go
thing.
first. So we'll go with the Harpy.
Assume the one that's grabbing me.
Oh my goodness, I'm so frustrated. I apologize.
Boundary, why?
I'm trying to think if there's any. Well, I don't know if it's.
Settings open. That's weird.
And what stinks is if I kill Chrome, I'm
Right,
going to
you
lose the
killed
video
everything.
feeds.
That's not good. Don't want
All
that.
right, here we go. All right, I think Chrome is caught up. So let's start with the Harpy. This is the Harpy that's on your back right now.
I assumed that. Oh no, I don't like that
stuff
giggle.
here. Watching, waiting for the. So what I'm doing. So while we do this, let's talk about rules a little bit. So one of the things that's kind of neat in Forbidden Lands is the way that the monsters are handled. So the way monsters are handled is they have a random table. And so the GM doesn't choose what type of attack's going to happen. It's determined by a random table. So this Harpy is pulling at your backpack, right?
Yeah.
And we hear a tearing sound as it pulls back. And the second Harpy flies over and suddenly is starting to drop and throw rocks down on top of you, Aldrich. And your hands instinctively go up as the first couple rocks start to hit you. So you are just getting pelted, and that now the other 2 sisters are joining in, going, "It's so shiny!" And they're just kind of really focused on you, Aldrich. So right now you've got blunt damage coming, 1 damage there. You can dodge and become prone. I think that's your only option, or take the damage. But you do have
Can
armor. You'll
I-
be able to use
I
armor.
was just saying, roll my armor. Okay, I don't
But
want to be prone.
are you going to
so
use a fast action, or are you just going to just armor it?
I'm just gonna take it on the armor. Especially
Okay,
since it's
great.
only 1.
And are you wearing? Because you're not wearing your helmet, so
Not
you can
wearing
see
a helmet
things.
now.
Yes, I am just wearing the chainmail.
All right, so let's roll the armor roll and the chainmail.
That's not great.
All right, so go ahead and take 1 damage to your strength as
Alright.
as one of the rocks just pelts and hits Osric. You see this coming down. You see these harpies focused on Aldrich, each picking at him, throwing rocks from their little clawed feet down on Aldrich.
And they're only hitting Aldrich at this point.
Right now, they seem very focused on Aldrich. So if you guys want to keep
Very
heading
nice.
north, you can.
What do you have that's so shiny?
That would solve a lot of your problems, honestly.
I feel like
would
I'm
not
not
blame
for
you.
my
For my
roll and
teeth.
have to stay here, so that's not very helpful for me.
Osric just like gums at him. More teeth.
So Aldrich is up next. Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Before-
I guess.
before I figure out
Couple
what
I
it is.
thought
I'm gonna
Osric
do.
was taking the next slot. No,
No,
I-
I was.
Got
Aldrich first, then Osric.
that's right. Yeah. So Aldrich,
I
you
mean,
just
put
get
you
hit by
somewhere.
this rock.
So I guess a couple questions, so I don't have to go digging super quick. I guess drawing a weapon, would that be a fast action?
It's a
Correct.
fast action.
Okay. And I guess follow-up question related to that. Am I able to get to my axe, or is the harpy kind of blocking me?
So at this point, you are not attached to a harpy, right? So that harpy is pulled away from you, kind of tearing it. You could tell it wanted to take the backpack,
Okay.
but it didn't. It wasn't success, and it didn't destroy your backpack.
Got
But you
it.
heard the tearing of the cloth as it pulled up,
Okay.
as its
Gotcha.
sisters started throwing rocks.
All right. So I'm gonna grab that battle axe, the old heart scarer, as I'm gonna start calling it. And I guess we're gonna do a melee attack with Aldrich. This is gonna be new and special.
All right, let's go ahead and go for it.
See what happens. Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah. We're not
Get
gonna push
'em.
that.
So this is pretty amazing. So on the first roll, it's a die pool system, 1 through 6. Every die has, and you have a breakdown in the dice, right? So you can see strength gave him 3 dice, and on that he got a 1, a 4, and a 1. And on his battle axe, he got 2 1s, right? So the
Ugh.
battle axe gave him 2 additional dice. Had any of them been 6s, they would have been considered a success. He ends up with 0 successes. That's what this 0 x0 is, and then he has 4 banes, which does nothing
That's impressive.
unless he pushes. If he
And
pushes,
break
that
my axe
immediately is going to
immediately.
break the axe, because the axe I think only has 2 gear bonus, and he'll take a strength wits.
I will not push that. I think Aldrich just grabs the axe and
Excellent
takes
decision.
a wild swing. And again, he is not trained in combat, so this is all new.
And it almost pulls you a little off balance, a little bit, Aldrich. And Osric, obviously, you don't have time to kind of shake your head. But let's be honest. I don't know what Aldrich was swinging at, because these things weren't even close to him as he wildly swung into the air with his first time use battle axe.
I'm just glad we don't have a crit fail system, because he probably would have hit me at that point.
Oh yeah.
Osric,
I mean, we do, just not for
So
melee.
within, do I have anything that's within reach of me, or that I can?
you're not
get
engaged
to?
with anything, but if you were to get engaged with Aldrich, then these things are coming down and are getting
Okay.
within range as they are pestering and going after Aldrich.
So I will have to draw my weapon with my
Okay.
fast action.
That's your fast action.
And if I'm close enough to do so, I will charge forth and attempt to swing on one of these harpies.
And charge is a talent that you have paid for with
Yes.
experience. So real quick for those watching, everybody gets a slow action and a fast action. His fast action is he's pulling his sword this round, which is
That's
good old
correct.
rust
And-
bite. And then for your slow action, you're using your talent. And what does that give you?
Where is that melee charge? And what it gives me is I throw myself into combat without any concern for my risk involved. When I move from near to arm's length, I can on the same action slash, stab, punch, or shove.
So you get to do a fast and a slow, a move and a thing. So let's go ahead and take a swing. So as this harpy is coming down, you can see it headed for Aldrich, as Aldrich has already, the axe is almost hit into the ground. He almost has a divot in the ground, like a golfer swinging for the first time. You come up, drawing rust bite, headed towards the next harpy that's headed that wants to get a piece.
We're gonna roll those dice. Oh my goodness.
What a day.
After that troll fight and the fight with the things, I
Good
think Foundry is like,
Lord.
I owe you some rolls.
Exactly. They are just done with us for
So
here.
no successes, 2 Banes. What are those 2 Banes
Those 2
on?
Banes are on my strength,
They are
so
on your
unfortunately,
strength.
Osric has missed. What I am gonna do though, Craig, is I'm going to use where is this? I'm going to use the second half or the second point of Path of the Blade. Once you have used up all your actions during a round, you can spend a willpower to immediately attack again in close combat.
Beautiful. All right, so let's spend that willpower.
So
What's
I
that
will
bring your willpower to?
That brings me down to 6 willpower.
Okay.
And then I will take a swing at probably the next one that comes down. As the first one comes down and I miss, and then as that one comes back up and the second one comes back down in, I'm going to take a swing at that.
Beautiful. Let's do it.
And I no longer get my melee charge bonus. A little better.
A little bit
That's much
better.
We're going to keep that.
A
And
non-zero
hopefully-
number of successes.
That's right. Non-zero number of successes. Feels good. Feels good.
All right. So that is going to cause a total of 3 damage. So the first one comes down, the one, Aldrich, you swing at this thing, you're almost falling down as this battle axe lodges itself into the soft ground below you. And the harpy that was first coming down, we have a sweep of rustbite up. It scares it away. It pulls up before it even reaches you. Second one thinks it's clever. It's coming from behind you, Osric, but you can hear the wings. You turn, taking rustbite, and it slashes across the front of it, and you just, as it kind of flaps back and pulls back, and you can see just this maroon deep blood just coming and soaking and filling the lining of the feathers that's on this thing's belly. We've got 2 more harpy attacks to go. First one's going to go. This one's going to go for Osric in reaction. Also, raining rocks down on Osric now. So throwing them down, we have a total of 0 successes. So the rocks are coming down, Osric, but you're a fluid moving target, having no difficulty avoiding the rocks as they go. Next one is doing the same. Not happy with you drawing blood.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. With the shield and everything, these are targeting you. Roll a number of base dice equal to the current strength of the flock. The attack has weapon damage 1. If it hits, the harpies lift the unfortunate victim. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So
I'm going to make
you
an
draw
effort to dodge.
You draw blood on the
attack?
first one. And you now, what did we find out about dodging? You can dodge monsters, as you can't parry monsters.
Can't parry monsters, which
So-
I'm much better at, by the way.
Drawing the blood of this first one, we see the harpies now ignoring Aldrich. They don't give a damn about you. They pull up, and now we see all 3 harpies coming in, claws out as they are approaching Osric. And Osric, you are going to attempt to dodge. You've got 4. You're going to need 4 successes on that dodge.
Yeah, that's probably not going to go great. But we're sure as heck going to try. Haha, 1. I got 1.
Okay. So I need you to take 3 strength damage.
I have armor.
Oh, let's do the armor.
And that happens by, remind me, I click on armor.
Yep.
Yeah, you should just click on it.
Yeah, and it'll take into account all your armor.
It is doing that.
Woof.
All right. So you're actually going to only end up taking 2 damage. Unfortunately,
That's
As
1,
this-
right? 4 down to.
well,
down to
the
3
dodge is an armor, right? So you still are taking 4 damage. So the dodge.
Oh, right. The dodge doesn't actually
Mhm.
reduce
Right.
unless I
right.
get them all.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So you're going to take 2 strength damage.
Oh, really? Oof.
You're trying to go down. You kind of go to the ground instinctively, and
Yeah, you guys
Though-
got this.
it stalls them. They still get their claws into you. And the three of you see these, and they're having a hard time. He's encumbered. They're having a hard time, but they're flapping their big wings hard. And you see Osric, blood starting to fall from between the chains in his chain armor. They are lifting Osric up, and they take him up about 6 meters into the air and drop him.
Oh shit!
And Osric, I need you to take 3 more strength damage.
What? Oh, well, that will break me.
All right, so let's do a quick critical.
How do I do that?
All right, that is going to be the worst of the worst. Broken fingers. So give me just a
No. The worst of the worst is you are dead. let's be clear.
All right, it's going to take 5 days healing.
He's still got a whole arm past those fingers.
Let's see here. Did it take it and put it on there? So you have the broken fingers, 5 days. Okay. Those knocked out teeth, have you cleared that, or are we still at 3 days? When is the knocked out teeth?
That was from. It's probably been at like one of those days.
Okay. So just for somewhere, we're on the 21st. Let's have that clear out on the 23rd. Okay.
There you go.
And broken fingers, that means broken fingers will clear 2, 3, 4, 5 on the 26th.
26. Yeah.
So two-handed weapons can't be used. Luckily, Rustbite is not a two-handed weapon. But you are now broken. So we see Osric fall, landing there. Rustbite still in his grip. He's now gone from where you can see. He's fallen into the grass. None of you can actually see him now. We can see the birds wanting to get some more. So after they drop, they're starting to head back down to start pulling and attacking Osric. Sten hasn't done anything yet. Vasily, you're still standing there. Aldrich, you have maybe realized that trading with the axe would have been smart. The number 1 damage dealer in the party is down. Sten has no arrows. I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. We see him fall. We see him hit the ground, vanish into the deep, deep grass as these harpies are flying in like carrions over his body and just screaming, "The shiny! Get the shiny!" And you can see them coming down. We can have either Vasilla or Sten go.
Vistilla, you're there. You got anything clever to do?
Yeah, I'm going to yeah, give him the helmet. And then I'm gonna come down through the grass, keeping low, to get up to Osric's body and attempt a heal roll on him,
Okay.
which is a slow action. So I assume you can do it in combat, because why have a timing on the action if you cannot?
No, I completely agree. So you're gonna go and tend to Osric.
Right. So my plan is to I'm like shuffling through like my backpack for like the herbs that I've learned to like just shove under his tongue and like pump adrenaline into him. This isn't like the like actual long-term care of making
Yeah.
like actually healthy. This is like the just pay no attention to pain right now. Healthy.
And when you get to Osric, Osric is conscious, right? He's
Mhm.
there, and just you can see the pain in Osric's face, and just tell that Osric doesn't have any fight left in him. And when you reach him,
So we're gonna try healing.
it's a good bit of little dice. So we've got 3 Banes, and we got 1 success. The Banes are on your empathy, which you have 6 of.
Yeah, we're just gonna push, I guess.
Oof.
What?
This is a terrible choice, but like,
That's no, you can't push that roll, can you?
I mean, he can't
mean,
break
like-
himself because he has the 1 success locked in.
I don't
And it
think.
was on a white die.
fair.
Okay.
here we go. Doing it. Fuck you. Sorry, stream.
Okay, so
Oh
You-
my gosh.
you jam the herbs into his mouth, and instinctively Osric swallows them just out of sheer panic of having Vasilla's hand in his mouth. And luckily your other hand has already reached in for more herbs, and your second hand goes into the mouth, and Osric luckily does not swallow these. Osric, you feel these herbs get into your mouth, and it's got this basil, just herby, just taste as it goes, but you find yourself somewhat revitalized. So go ahead and add 1 strength. You're no longer broken.
Your hand,
Fantastic.
however, is.
Yes.
Stan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, did it break Vasilla?
No.
No.
It did not
Oh,
break
okay.
Vasilla, but it is it was a poor trade.
Yep. For sure.
Sten.
All right. So Sten just looks back and says something extremely rude and pulls out his knife, because it's what he has, and just starts running back in that direction, waving it and going, "I got something shiny for you, you bitch." And I'm not sure if I can get there, close enough to swing at one.
So I
So
don't
I'm
think
just
so, but I
running
think what you
back.
can do is get yourself over Osric,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
you've got the wife. Wow. You've got the knife.
Yes. Yes,
And
I
you're
do.
wildly swinging, screaming at these
Mhm.
at these harpies, and the harpies are reacting, and they kind of pull back. So they're intent to come down. They didn't see Vasilla's
Mhm.
tiny self weaving
Mhm.
through, and she just appeared out of the grass and is on top of Osric, stuffing stuff into Osric's mouth. But
Mhm.
you get a reaction from these harpies as they pull back. We go back to the top. We're going to have a harpy attack. I'm going to have this be on Sten.
Sure. Oh, great.
Ugh.
Thanks.
So as
Ugh.
as
Heck.
as they start screaming shiny shiny, just you see one of them go and just this vomitous green just gunk comes pouring out of its mouth, and
Wow.
it splashes everywhere. We see it hit the grass. We see a lot of it end up on Osric's abdomen, but luckily none of it, Sten, lands on you.
So this, I'm just looking at this. It looks like this is like the whole pack attacking.
Well, it's gonna be the same whether it's one or three of them. So I'm just having one of them do it this time, but it could be the whole pack. Oh, it's all
Ugh.
victims. Oh, geez, wait a second. Rain of vomit and excrement on the adventurers. All victims within near range suffer an attack using the 6 base dice, which you got no successes on, causing damage to empathy. So they got no successes. So even though this
Right.
vomit comes down on all of you, none of
Wow.
it causes any damage.
I'm looking back at these things, and I don't want to take us away from what we're doing, but all of the attacks are saying like the harpies do this, so it's almost like it's treating them as a swarm.
Yeah, it's just it's the if I change the name of the token to Harpy, it would all say Harpy.
Okay.
Hmm.
But
Interesting.
one is one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
For this is the pack of 3. All right, so we are now back into yours. The 4 of you are all unbroken. We've got a prone Osric. You guys want to change the order? Who wants to go first?
I would like to go first, or
Okay.
I don't. Maybe not first. I'd like to go before Osir because I'm going to attempt to do a better job.
Well, if you want to do that, I can. Unless Aldrich, you have something you want to do, I can attempt to take a swing at
Like
one. At
throw
least keep
the
them
helmet.
off you.
Maybe would be the good
Yeah,
first step.
let's kind of swap back
All
to
right.
you guys in front and then us behind you guys.
All right, so we're gonna go the original order with either Sten or Vasilla.
Do you want to throw the helmet first?
My helmet is leather. I don't think, or
Not
You-
you.
oh,
Does
okay.
I'm sorry. Does Aldrich, who is the one that they have spotted
Mhm.
something shiny, to reach
Yeah,
into his
actually,
pack and grab something
let's go
shiny
with
and
let's
throw
go with
it?
that then. Let's do
So
me.
Vasilla's yelling,
Vasilla.
the helmet, the helmet.
Mhm.
So yeah, I guess I'll go then. Aldrich will drop the battle axe and fuddle back into the backpack until he finds the helmet that he took off and kind of look at it and just kind of throw it. Try to make sure they see it, like give it a wave, and then ha.
Let's do a range throw.
Okay. Is that marksmanship?
Marksmanship, technically, or I mean, he may
Actually,
just be going for distance rather than.
I want a
accuracy.
might. Give me a
Yeah, I
might.
was gonna say
roll.
might. I think makes more sense in this case. Thank you.
You hit the field. You are that accurate. Congratulations.
Well, you'll see how I'm going to use this. So
It's like, I'd like to not roll dice for a little bit.
Mhm.
do we want to push this before I say what happens?
Yeah, I think I do. Boom!
Hey.
So Vasilla's yelling, the helmet, and we see Ostrich reach back and pull the helmet out of the torn backpack. And as he's pulling it out, it fumbles, right? And it drops to the ground as he's pulling it out of the pack. And he pushes himself and goes down, grabs the helmet, and just with his blacksmith physique, just throws the helmet. And we see the helmet fly through the air as the sun glints it. And we see the harpies go, "Ah!" And they immediately, the 3 of them, start heading towards the helmet. Vasilla.
I'm going to I guess I keep trying to get like healing
I
into
don't think you can
Osric.
do that, right? Healing
Can I
only
only do it
works when I'm
once?
broken. think.
Possibly.
Pretty sure
That-
that's
that's-
correct.
Okay, so right, you only that makes sense. It fits the rest of the system that you only get one shot at stuff generally. Okay, so then I'm going to hide in the grass. I don't freaking know.
How about
like
no war cry?
so like now that I've now that I have willpower from failing to heal you so successfully.
You are
Um,
welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. I can war cry. I just don't know if they're gonna like run away, right? So I don't want to
Right.
like yell and be like, "Pay attention to me
Mhm.
again!" If they are in fact like, "Oh look, we got the thing, run away!"
Yeah.
So
Do
like,
you
I
have a
don't think there's
yell that works in that sort of direction? Like a
no for
terrifying
Path of
roar?
Song. I know Path of War Cry doesn't. The terrifying portion does not work on monsters.
Ah,
So
That
no.
sounds about right.
He can only boost you. He can't hurt them.
correct.
Yeah, if they were humans, I could scare them, but they're not, or whatever, normal people. So,
So
I'm just gonna
Vasil-
hide, I guess.
Okay.
Actually, I'll stay. I'll hide. I'm just gonna do something
Yeah,
exciting.
give me a quick stealth roll.
Yeah, stealth. So stealthy.
Okay. So we see Vasilla at realizing that she has gotten Osric at least up. We see Osric lean up and get up. He's now sitting up. You immediately dart off into the grass. The next 2 Harpy slots are headed to the helmet. So and mechanically, so you know what's happening. This is the 2 successes or 2 rounds of keeping the Harpies distracted. So this is round 1 that the Harpies are distracted. We now go to either Aldrich or actually to
Sten or
Osric or Sten, right?
So, Craig, do I think there's anything I can do, like in this high grass, to sort of like conceal us from above? Like grab some grasses and kind of, make a makeshift cover over us or something with like a survival or a scouting kind of role.
So considering how distracted they are,
Mm-hmm.
I am open to some move rolls
So we're
to
gonna
get
just run, right?
to run,
Mm-hmm. Sure, let's do it.
right? So if I, for everybody who has a successful move roll, you're able to
Mhm.
get away far enough from where the attack is happening, get into the grass, and essentially end this encounter.
Mhm. Okay, let's do that then.
And so, what does this look like for Sten? We're standing above him. He now sits up. You're right
Mhm.
next to him. You're swinging your knife away. We see the helmet fly through the air. We see it drawing these Harpies who have been yelling about shiny this whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm just gonna say we need to get to cover. Stay down. Is there anything I can do to help Osric along? Because he's in pretty bad shape.
If you want to use your fast action, I will allow you to exchange your fast action or I'm
Mhm.
sorry, your slow action for getting Osric not prone.
Okay.
Then use your fast action. Let's do the move roll.
All right. Sounds good. I will
So
do
you
that
lift
then.
up Osric onto his
Mhm.
feet.
I say, come on, let's get away
Oh,
from him.
okay,
Stay low.
okay. I
Stay
figured I'd
low.
use my fast action to get up, but that's okay. That'll work.
And we see once you lift him up,
Mhm.
you, like Vasilla, vanish into the grass.
Stay low.
Osric.
So I think that Osric is going to use adaptive to use survival to get away from these Harpies, because a move roll would be a bad idea right now.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So let's do a survival roll. So it's not as much as you are booking ass. What you're doing is being smart about the lay of the land and the ground and where is the best place
Right.
for
And
me
since
to get
I was
out
sort
of
of half
view.
prone to begin with, I feel like
Yep.
he's more of a, you know what, I get that you wanted to help me up, but I'm gonna kind of tuck away, and hopefully I can kind of get a feel for which direction Vasilla went off to hide, and I will do that. The modifier section shows large tent. It's not as helpful as it could have been. Oh, for crying out loud.
Not a single success.
But no Banes.
But no Bane, so he is definitely going to push this.
Sure.
All right.
You gotta.
There we
What
go.
does this push look like?
I think he's just definitely scrambling quite a bit. I think at first he, had to make sure he found his shield and the sword and these sorts of things is what made him take a little extra time to figure out where everything was and get himself situated, and is then crouching low and trying to stay below the grass line and move his way forward.
And everybody loses sight of Osric. So 2 Harpy slots focused on the helmet. Or sorry, the 1 Harpy slot. We're at the next round. So we go back to the top of the order. This is the first for that first Harpy. Well, by the time we get to the second Harpies, this is the end of their distraction with that helmet. So I've got 2 slots open. We have got Sten is hidden. We've got Vasilla hidden. I think only person left is Aldrich. So my recommendation is Aldrich, you take this next slot.
Yeah,
Or the third
And
slot.
just go pick up
That
the
seems
helmet. It'll be
reasonable.
great.
Or go attack them.
No, I have kind of
Sorcery.
an alternate
Fireball.
solution I'd like to propose. So I have a fun little spell called Flight,
Oh God.
which notably Calm down, old man. Yes,
know
I will
nothing.
solve all my.
That's all
I will
Brian.
solve all
Sten
my
knows
problems with
nothing.
magic.
Oh man.
But notably, it ups my movement rate to 2 instead of 1. Would that be fast enough to cover the ground that would normally be made by like pushing through a move roll instead? Since I'm basically moving at double speed but flying.
So it doubles your movement or adds 1 to your movement?
Yeah, it gives me a movement rate of 2 flying.
So if you want to cast flight, I'll give you 2 bonus dice on your move roll.
You know what? That sounds. I'll
Is that
take
fair?
it.
Is that fair?
That sounds perfectly fair.
All right. So let's and magic in this system is when he says he's going to do it, he's going to do it. I need to know how much willpower you're putting into it.
I'm only gonna put the 1 willpower into it because I don't need any.
What level is the
additional.
spell?
It is a level 2 spell.
So and I forget, do you have to put 2 willpower into a level 2?
No, I only have to put 1 to
Okay.
cast. I just have to be a level 2 to cast
Got it. Okay.
moderately safely. So here we go. Naturally.
So rolling that 1 causes a mishap.
Oh no.
This is
Whose idea
amazing.
was it to schedule this tonight?
Oh, this is amazing.
Is it a full moon? What's going on out there?
Right.
Oh, mystery dice. That's cool.
Oh, look at that. Those are
That's
new.
no.
Yeah. Oh no.
House glues more teeth.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So for those of you watching, you can see the mishap. Our 4 players
I'm not looking purposely at the stream.
I need to know what casting flight looks like. So walk me through it.
So Aldrich kind of crouches down a little bit into the grass and starts kind of like he's got an open palm. There's one open palm. And just kind of is like moving the air below him and starting to get this process of like generating this lift that's going to lift him up. Because then my next course of action is going to be grab my axe and start running or fly running.
Okay. So we see him lift up. And we can see this magical energy surround you as that happens. And but there's a shockwave as you lift up. And we see it just kind of, and even though you may not see the magic coming off of him, what gives you the instance that something is coming off of Aldrich right now is you see the grass react. And it's not reacting from Aldrich lifting up. We see it wilt and start to crumble. I'm going to start with you, Aldrich.
Oh, is that that at all?
Oh no.
I need you to give me an endurance roll.
Oh
Alright.
man.
Oh good,
This is
everyone's gonna be
fine.
great at this.
This is fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna push it.
Okay. Okay, you have 1 success and you take your 1 damage to strength. I need you to remember that 1 success. Sten,
Okay.
I need an endurance roll.
Do I have some idea of what I'm resisting so I know I can adapt to something relevant?
So you see that obviously something hasn't gone quite as planned with Aldrich using magic, not something new for this
Yeah.
for Aldrich.
You know, remember when he used to get hungry?
So I think
Oh,
the
good
ol-
times.
I think the only thing would be survival. I'd be allow you to swap
Okay.
out to an endurance roll because you see the grass wilting, right? You see the grass reacting to this.
Okay, and it's like coming this way?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I will make a survival roll to not have whatever that is happen. Do I feel like more successes would be better, Craig?
More successes would be better.
Oh, okay, I'm
Do,
gonna push
do I
this
only
roll.
have to outrun him?
Okay, there's a couple more successes.
Okay, so you remember 3 successes. Osric.
I will do that. Jeez.
Osric will also use adaptive to.
And just so everybody watching, every time they use this kin talent, they're lowering their willpower.
Correct. I'm spending a willpower to use adaptive to believe that my survival is required.
Yeah, I'm good with
to escape
survival with adaptive here.
This time I am going to use the tent.
One success, one bane.
Oh, where is that success?
I mean, if you push, you're going to fall over anyway because you have 1 strength.
No, I won't fall over because it's not a strength roll. It's a
Correct.
wits roll.
It'll hit.
Oh,
It'll damage his
survival.
wits.
Right.
So
I stayed corrected.
I have.
Yeah, generate some more willpower.
I was kind of hoping to do that, but no. We can't have nice things.
I was kind of hoping to not have to do that. But I am going to push to see if I can't get a little better.
There you go.
Hey.
Oh, nice push. So 1 damage to your wits. You've got 3 successes. Remember that 3. Vasilla.
I'm not a human. So I will be rolling my 2 endurance.
Oh no.
I'm not going to push because I will just fall over from pushing.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm not.
That can't be right. Oh, it already rolled it. Okay. So once this hits you, you guys feel almost like fingers piercing into your chest or your back or whatever direction this is coming from. And immediately all 4 of you start to get nauseous. And we see just one at a time, each of you start throwing up. So mechanically, very quick, you guys now all have a disease. You failed. It rolled an 11.
Christ.
Oh no.
11, huh?
I
If you
don't think we can ever cure that. I think we're just all going to die.
So if you fail the roll, you fall sick. So I think that as on your character sheets, I think you have
Doesn't look like it's one of the
No, sleepy, thirsty,
conditions.
hungry,
which has
cold.
several effects. The day after the infection, the disease breaks, at which time you suffer 1 point of damage to both strength and agility.
Cool.
You cannot recover your strength or agility while sick. So this is a condition, except through magic. Make another sickness roll once per day. Each failed roll means you suffer another point of damage to both strength and agility. If your strength is broken when sick, you die after another day if you don't get well before then. And as soon as you succeed at a sickness roll, you are no longer sick. Stop rolling sickness rolls and recover your attributes normally. So those will be endurance rolls. Now, here's the upside. We see the 3 harpies fall from the sky as this wave kills all of the grass that was hiding Vasilla, the grass that was hiding Osric and hiding Sten. All of you are on your knees, just puking. All of the energy in you is out of you. And we just see the bodies just fall and hit the ground. Aldrich soon afterwards.
Yeah, we can't possibly beat that.
Yeah, and it's constant. It will be a forever 11 difficulty endurance roll. Is that where we're at?
No, it says you just need a success.
Okay.
So you'll need an
okay.
endurance roll with a success. So you guys take your damage to strength and agility.
Or I guess we will tomorrow.
Right.
Sounds like
Yeah, because it'll break the next day.
Today you catch the disease, right?
right.
So the immediate effect is that you're nauseous. but mechanically, nothing else is happening to you.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can find the helmet. Let's make
You said
camp
because we're
here.
sick, we can't recover.
Correct.
Right. So okay, so yeah, I guess we just are going to try to like make some kind of camp a little bit away because
Mm-hmm. Not directly in
directly.
the
Not in
puddles
the
of vomit.
epicenter.
And you guys find Aldrich, and when you get to him, he is not conscious, but he wakes soon upon you finding him. What you did see is him leave the ground, and you saw him lift up and start flying away.
I don't have the energy for that conversation right now.
Yeah, I think we're all trudging quite a bit. It's
Yeah.
it has been a long quarter day.
Yeah.
It's been a long morning.
Wow.
oh,
What a
I
quarter day.
see. It's an okay, so it's an opposed roll. It will get 11 dice. We will get probably my healing roll,
Ugh.
and then whoever, as soon as you win the roll, that is one success, but you win,
Jeez.
then you get to be healthy.
So-
Then you
so-
broken the
we gonna
news.
die.
So hold on a second. To be clear, the virulence is 2.
Got
It rolled a 5 and a 6. That's how it got the virulence 11, right?
Mm.
So it rolls 2 dice.
And I'm confused.
So that die roll is looking for totals rather than successes.
Right.
That
right.
seems weird, but okay.
So then the virulence rating of the disease is apparently equal to 2d6, which was 11. I mean, I think I'm confused about how the mechanics of the game work. Like
You know what? Hold
my
on a
reading of
second.
disease.
Let's see if it did it
is-
wrong. Hold on. It might have done it wrong.
Yeah.
So let's give it a second here. Exposed to dangerous condition. All right, it's a sickness roll. A typical disease has a virulence of 3. This one had a virulence of 2 because it rolled 2 dice. But there's
Well,
disease.
no, because what it looks like the mishap says is it has a virulence of 2d6, which in this
Right.
case was 11.
So it has a variable amount of
Oh,
how
variable.
sick
Oh,
it
Yeah.
makes you.
got it.
So
this
this
one
is
is
this
super
is the
bugged.
Black Plague.
So what we need to do then? I need to roll the 11.
Right. So what we'll do is each of us will have
Like,
a
The next
contested
day.
roll
Mhm.
between our endurance rating
Got it.
versus the virulence. I could use or someone could use medical aid, which uses healing against the virulence of disease. If we had nature's cure as a spell, we could use that.
Got it. Got
Um,
it. Okay. Got it. So it's going to roll 11 dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got the
we're
black
gonna
plague.
die.
Oh no, it doesn't. Oh, I see. It's against. I got
Yeah,
you
it's
now.
an opposed roll.
Yeah, it's an opposed roll.
Gotcha.
Your
That's-
body's trying to get healthy. The
Yep.
disease is trying to murder
Yep.
you.
Yep.
And you
Yeah.
can't recover, and you get weaker and weaker as time goes on.
Uh-huh.
Right, because you can't recover your endurance stat.
You can't recover your strength or your agility.
While you were sick. So let's set up a tent and let's see if we can not die to the plague.
Let's arrange our stuff nicely for the goblins that find our bodies.
Yeah.
God,
Uh.
our rolls have been bad. Okay, so we're not dead yet. All
With a
right,
note,
so-
stay away from the goddamn harpies and your dead bodies. All right, so
on the
we're
plus
we're,
side,
we're setting
yeah,
up camp, right?
We're set
I believe
1
that to be the
billion
case.
%.
I'm assuming we're going to recover our large helm that caused all of this.
I mean, I'll
That's
grab it.
clearly
Might
the
as
most
well.
important part of this, right?
Sure, yeah.
Why not?
I stumble
Then-
over once someone theoretically helps me up, or if I just push my own way back up and
Yeah,
grab
we'll-
it and kind of
Well,
imagine we all kind of sulk and push our way out of the epicenter of
yes.
So that,
what I've wrought.
like we
Never mind
I
what
like
the harpies brought a half turn earlier.
yeah.
Right.
I think
Yeah, I'm
It might-
clearly blaming these. They vomited on us, so they gave us the disease. Clearly.
Right, they tainted my magic.
Right.
in my head, I'm like, this is just a culmination of all the stress we've been under. Like,
Yep.
like the dice are, getting us in a real world
Oh,
sense, but
man.
like,
Whew.
it's been a rough 2 weeks.
It
What a
has.
mess.
It has.
Cool. So let's set up a tent then, right?
Yeah. So let's we're gonna take the next quarter day.
Mhm.
And I want to know what's gonna happen. It sounds like someone's gonna make camp.
Mhm.
Sure.
Do we have like a
guess.
quartermaster who's doing that?
It might be me. I think I've done it historically because I have the survival.
And I've been a lot, even though you're not carrying the tent, you still get the tent bonus.
Okay. So
Great,
I'm gonna
makes
do
sense.
that.
We can
The tent
unpack
is
it
what,
off of
2?
his back.
Yeah,
The
the
10th bonus is in fact 2.
2 gear.
Cool. All right. I am capable of erecting a tent.
All right. So
Maybe
that
that's
is
helpful
what
tent.
Sten is in the process of getting the tent up, getting the fire started.
So we have food and things, right?
Yes.
Yeah, a
We
ton of
seem to have
food.
food and water.
Okay.
God, that
I'm going
virulence
to
11. Oh my God.
It's not
sleep.
great.
I'm going to take this time while you send us up to like pass on out.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna go ahead and sleep.
Yeah, because I feel like it's been a bad day.
So if you're okay with this, and to tell me if you're not, I'm imagining as Sten is setting up and whatever Aldrich and Osric are doing, they're kind of do thing, and then where's Vasilla? And someone takes enough time to finally find you curled behind a rock, like
Mhm.
10 yards away,
Yep.
just dead asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Aldrich, how do you want to spend this quarter day?
Oh man, so we can't start tending to this illness yet, or can
No,
we?
it's the next opposed roll is going to be tomorrow.
Okay.
And then Vasilla, what you can do is you can recover everything but strength and wits.
Right.
Wait, strength and wits or strength and
Or strength and
agility?
agility, I'm
but
sorry.
yeah, physical stuff. That's the wrong way, but I will do it. Cool.
So Aldrich and Osric, how are we going to spend our quarter day?
Right.
What a mess today has been. Computers,
like
dice
one
rolls.
quarter of one day,
All of it.
not a
We're like,
whole
we-
day. 1/4 of
It
one
was
day.
a hell of a quarter day. The
we
first,
took a walk and
the
died.
first hex was fine.
Was it?
and just taking a step back, not to get into after credits discussion, but like I was on Facebook and someone was new to Forbidden Lands, and you could tell by the questions that they were asking that they were, a 5e player, right?
Mhm.
Which is not a bad thing, but it's what they
Sure.
were familiar with. And they were essentially saying, this is their first encounter, and I pre-rolled my random encounter, so I know the first hex they're going to hit this random encounter, which causes them to run into X number of Rust Brothers. And I'm trying to figure out how many Rust Brothers to give them. And, I got in a discussion with this person and I said, that's up to you. I said, what's more important than that question is have you already had the discussion with the players about what combat means in this game versus combat means in 5e? Because whether you give them 2 Rust Brothers or 12 Rust Brothers, by the second round, they could have wiped them or they could be dead.
Yeah.
And we kind of saw that, right? We saw that, like, you guys were up against 4 Rust Brothers and a troll and the whole thing, and you guys wiped Forbidden Lands with them. Like, they were just, like, they never had a chance.
It's so long ago.
But the way that the dice works in this, like, you guys, between the damage you were taking with your endurance rolls, you were already weakened, these 3 harpies, and it's something that I like, but you have to know going into it, which ties into a conversation we've had with Dave, right? You're not going to have 10 rounds of combat in Forbidden Lands with 20 hit points.
Right.
All right. So Osric and Nate.
I think. I mean,
Nade. I
I
feel
think.
like
I think Aldrich's
training is-
exhausted. I
You gonna
think
sleep
Aldrich
there,
just
Aldrich?
falls asleep. I don't think he can keep his head up.
So let's have you find Vasilla.
Mhm.
And then you just
curl up
right
around her.
next to her. Exactly. So heal
Wow, you found
everything
this
but your
really
physical.
luscious loam. This is really
Gosh, this grass is so nice and soft.
It's so
I-
soft.
I honestly, I feel like Osric might have helped make camp, trudging
Sure.
around and sort of
Sure.
like providing an assist, which I think would have been a die, but since he succeeded, it doesn't super matter.
Great.
Because I don't think like it feels like a incorrect point for him to like, oh, I'll train in pack rat.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. And I also think that falling asleep doesn't make sense for Osric, so I think that he'll
Right.
assist with making camp is what he'll do with that time.
So you guys, that's how we spend the afternoon, right? Aldrich and Vassil are sleeping. Osric and Stenner are trying to find some semblance of normal as they basically make house, right? And try to build a place for the four of you to finish out this shit day. So as we start to see the sun wane, we've got a fire going. The tent is up. Aldrich and Vasilla wake up, and we see at least Aldrich pop out of the grass. We see the very top of Vasilla's reddish hair right next to him as evening approaches.
All right. I'm gonna take a look at his broken fingers
That's a good
before he
call.
goes to bed.
Okay.
So on a successful heel roll, you'll cut his heel time in
In
half.
half, right?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to take a look at your broken fingers and try to get a splint set and immobilize them so they will heal straight and strong.
So let's do that heel roll.
Healing roll.
Cool.
Very nice. So subtract 2 days, Osric, from your getting rid of the broken fingers. You set the splint. You find some twigs, some twine that you tear off some bark and create, kind of some rope with some bark and just get him bound up. All of this,
This is gonna hurt, and then I fix him.
Crack.
and all of this was your time with the druids in Amber's Peak, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that was a turning point for Vassil where she was like, "The world is shitty," and like try to bring a little bit of pleasantry
Maybe I
to
can
it.
fix
These
some of it.
yahoos aren't healing me, so
And that's not going to take a quarter day. So I do need to know what's happening in this third
I'm
day.
going to train then. I think probably in I think I might train in. I mean, it seems really gamey to say healing, but like the path of hammer healing is like the things. Am I going to like throw a dagger at a tree, right? Like I feel like I don't know if it's too gamey to say healing because we know it's
No, I
chloric
mean,
disease, but
Seems
like
this is a time. This is learning.
right.
about,
So you've been stuffing herbs into Ostric's mouth. We
poor
talked
Osric,
about,
he's my chest dummy.
yeah. I mean, you've been doing, and that's probably not it, right? Because I'm sure he's got bruises and probably some cracked bones and stuff. So I mean, if you spend your time being Dr. Vasilla,
Mhm.
for a quarter day. I don't know how Ostrich is going to react to all this attention, but I definitely think training up and putting yourself at level 2. So when we get that, so you spend the XP. I don't think you need. Do you need a roll when you're trained?
Not when I'm not improving, only learning new things.
Great. So let's put you to level 2. What does that do for that talent?
It's not a talent; it's just a straight skill.
Oh, okay, great. And what is that? So you add 1 to your skill. Is that what happens?
Yeah, and I have to go find the amount of XP, but
I
I've
think
got
it's
plenty. I've got
5
24.
times 2. I think so it'd be 10. I think if you're going to
10
level 2.
move skill rank 2 would be 10. So yeah, same thing. So I have
So what is
14
that?
left.
You got 14 left. All right, and that puts your healing now at what?
2.
2. Great. So
yeah, and I'll,
that's
redress his arm, right? Because his arm is like messed up, and you have no teeth, right? So like we have quite a few issues.
yeah. I think Osric's gonna spend this quarter day resting through this process. To
I think maybe it was maybe I'm going to lay down and just
Right.
let Vasilla do her thing. And as Vasilla is, is asking you questions like a good doctor would, then there's there stops being answers.
Right.
And
It-
Vasilla
rumble,
quickly
rumble,
realizes that.
Yeah.
So go ahead and heal your wits and your
Excellent.
what is it? Wits and what's the other one?
Wits and empathy
Empathy.
would be the
Yeah.
things that I would need to heal, and
Yeah.
we'll be able to spend that willpower for survival rolls later.
All right. So that leaves me with Sten and Aldrich.
So is there a need to keep watch at this point?
Any quarter day that you're camping, I recommend keeping watch.
So because Sten, other than having the plague, is fine. So maybe I'll just keep watch then.
Okay.
And hope the rest of you can get some better rest in there.
God bless. This
why?
is like this
You know
is
what?
something.
Sure.
Episode
perfect.
18, getting us.
Yep.
Ugh.
Well, I needed some
Oof.
willpower anyway. That should
Too
last me
damn-
the rest of my life.
2 damage to your wits.
Mm-hmm.
Aldrich,
Rough day.
this quarter day.
I think Aldrich, again, he wakes up, he's still real fuzzy. He just kind of goes back over and rejoins the group. And I think I'm going to spend 6 experience and level up Pack Rat with the hope that we survive all
Get
this.
2-pack.
So what does level 2 pack rat give you?
It ups the bonus slots in my inventory from 2 additional slots to 5.
Wow. So you're
Real
gonna
good.
get plus
Yeah.
5.
Real good.
Yeah. Great if it's
So
survive.
how does that so let's talk about it from an RP standpoint, right? What is Aldrich doing to improve his ability to carry shit?
I mean,
And
I
it's
think
not because you got stronger, right? It's just
Right.
you have gotten
Mhm.
smarter.
I think so. He's kind of taking the opportunity. The harpies kind of did some damage to the backpack, so I'm fixing that up a little bit and kind of giving it a bit more, expanding it out a little bit, and kind of finding spots for everything. And that's like the only thing he can focus on right now because like everything else is too big right now, and he just feels awful.
And I'm imagining 3 hours of don't talk to me, right? You're by yourself, pulled off, knowing that
Rooting.
this puking was because you thought, oh, let's fly.
Mhm.
And I'm imagining Aldrich unpacking his bag, repacking his bag,
Yup.
unpacking his bag, repack, and
Mhm.
just obsessive, right? Just
Make a new stitch once it's empty. Pack
Yeah.
everything back in.
Mhm.
Pull it back out. Another stitch.
Mhm.
Open it up.
Exactly.
A lot of that. Mhm.
Exactly. All right, so that takes us into night. Now this is the last quarter day. I'm going to go ahead and call for provision rolls. So I need a water and a food roll.
Not sure we can keep the food down, but I'm gonna try.
Some food is better than no food.
So we're trying to avoid a 1 or a 2. So Aldrich, you drop your food. Ostrich drops a water. All right.
I'm good on both.
There we are.
Okay. Has anybody run out?
No.
Okay. So we have another quarter day left in this day.
All right. Well, now Sten needs some rest.
All right, I'll keep watch. And that's scouting. Yeah.
All right, so let's do our. So Stennis is resting.
Mhm.
So we need Sten and Ostrich to rest, right? This quarter to avoid sleepy.
I rested.
Yeah, you.
I did not
rested with-
sleep, but I rested. Although I guess
Oh,
I
that's
fell
right, you
asleep,
did. Right, so it was
either-
only Sten that needed to sleep this quarter. So
Mhm.
this quarter, Sten is sleeping. You said Vasilla's doing a keep watch.
Yep. I scouted
right,
for
so
1
you're s-
success.
All right, it's 1 success, so we're good on the keep watch. Aldrich and Ostrich, what are we doing overnight?
Fine question.
That is a fine question. I totally want to steal Pack Rat, but I don't want to do it until I get to pack up the tent, which I'm never going to get to do because I'm going to die.
I mean, do you want to take this opportunity to approach Aldrich and learn it?
Well, and I thought about that, but I feel like
I'm good with that.
I think it makes sense, honestly. Like if you're not doing anything else, you kind of wake up and you see Aldrich kind of going through this brooding.
Right, going through the process.
Well, and I'm not. It's obviously not healthy because I'm sitting over here just like in my own head, like
Absolutely,
obsessing
and I
over
can
my
imagine
bag.
that he comes over and says, "Lad, it'll be okay, right? And it's sort of to half comfort you and also sort of half figure out how you're making things a little more efficient so that he can perhaps pick up some of these skills to
Well, talk me
Yeah.
through your process.
yeah, where are
Yeah.
we at here? How's this? I see
gotta be-
you've rolled the this instead of folding or what have you.
Mhm.
and,
So
Gotta be
when
light
you
on
have
our
a
feet,
teacher,
Oscar.
do you have to roll?
I
No.
think when I have a teacher, I don't have to roll.
Okay,
Yeah, you
great.
just have
So
to
go
pack.
ahead and drag and give yourself pack rat. Level
You're
1.
gonna make me find pack rat.
If Foundry had a search, that'd be cool.
It would be cool.
Cool.
It's right at the top.
Pack rat in, and I have to spend 3 on that. 'Cause it's
Level
only
1.
the first rank.
New talents are 3.
And so then go in and change the edit it then and
I
then
have to
change
go
it to
into the talent that is pack rat.
Yep. and then
and
change
add the
the carrying
modifier.
capacity, I think is at the very bottom.
And it is +2.
I know that a lot of you have already found this, and I think it's funny because I think a lot of people find our AP through my teaching videos about Forbidden Lands, and some of them are on Foundry. But as much as I've been kind of crabbing about Foundry, the way Foundry handles the official content from Free League for Foundry is absolutely incredible. Every time I think, no, it doesn't do that, we figure it out. And like, yeah, they figured that out too. And we found out that they upgraded the character sheets recently too, which is really nice.
Except that they threw all our equipment on the floor.
That's fine. We picked it up.
It would have been for the
Repacked it.
best.
Yeah.
If only I had left it there, then I would have been able to walk.
So Aldrich goes from level 1 to level 2, pack rat. Ostrich picks up pack rat. Sten is sleeping. So everybody's
kept
really
watch.
busy. It's in the middle of the night. You are well rested.
Yep. So I'm just going to pluck at my lyre, kind of like I do, and just I'm gonna find like a little outcropping up above the grass, like maybe next to that rock I was sleeping next to. I'm gonna go perch up on top of the rock and watch the surroundings.
Until the sun rises.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to talk to the players for a second, not the characters. It's the next day. Do we want to do the disease rolls now, or do we want to do it on episode 19?
I feel like
Well-
episode 19 will be really short if we do it then.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of scrambling to
Uh,
get the goblins ready.
Just to put it out there, when I fail this roll, I am at 1 both strength and agility. So when I take those 2 points from the disease, I will
Same.
double break.
Okay. So let me start with you since you've been in my care, and I'm going to take the healing roll instead of you taking the endurance roll versus the virulence.
Oh, is that a thing you can do?
That is 100% a thing.
Okay, look at you.
Which is why I was asking if it was too gamey to. I mean, it made sense to me to learn more healing, but it's going to be immediately helpful to have more experience in.
All right. So what's more exciting, to know what it rolls, the potency, or to roll and then do the potency?
I think to roll virulence secretly, and then we'll compare.
Oh, okay. So hold on. Let me see if I can. How do I set this to
Oh, no.
be?
Like not the virulence, but the successes rolled by
Right.
the virulence.
I'm going to do it last then. All right. So does that mean you're going to be doing four, or no, you're going to be healing and an endurance
I don't
for
know
yourself?
if I can do it. If you are cared for by someone during your sickness, this person can roll your sickness rolls instead of you. The healer rolls for healing against the virulence of the disease. Healing potions can give a bonus to the roll. We don't have those, sadly. Then nature's cure spell is also very
So-
effective against disease.
Again, my thinking was that I would adept this off if
Yeah, I'm
can do that.
certainly gonna do that instead of endurance.
so. If we think
Okay.
that your healing is going to end up less than my survival, that might.
I'm
not...
at 7 dice for my.
Oh,
or I'm
wow.
sorry, I'm at 8 dice for my healing.
Okay. Well then. All right. Drive on. Heal away.
Does the 8 beat you, Sten?
Just, but I don't think he can do it for everybody.
Yeah, that
She
was.
can do
I
it
don't
for
think
everybody.
I can do it for everyone. So I'm going to start with Osric. A, he's the person that I just did all my training with,
Right.
and like had been paying attention to his body, and B,
And
he's
is
the
the most abused right now.
exactly. So I think I'd be the most aware of him being ill. That make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Here we go.
This would be a good roll for you.
Come
Priscilla.
on, baby. Let's go. I'm pushing. Come on.
Oof.
You've got the empathy to give, though, right?
Yeah.
So you've got 2 successes for Osric. So Osric, you have 2 successes. Sten, are you being healed by Vasilla as well to deal with this disease? Or are you doing it on your own?
I think I'm gonna have to do it on my own. I don't think Vasilla can heal everybody, so I'm gonna, assuming you'll allow it, I'm gonna adaptive over to survival again.
That makes sense to me. Yep.
And I'm gonna have to push it because we're gonna need all the successes we can get.
All
Okay.
right, that puts
Man.
Sten at 2.
I don't think what I could do here. Endurance isn't going to do much for me.
What is Aldrich going to do?
I would be rolling 2 dice if I did endurance, which just
Ugh.
seems like a bad move.
What are you rolling for survival? Because I think that's an easy.
Survival would be 5, which is better.
Is it something he could theoretically do with like lore?
That's
Like,
what I
if
was
he
about to
studied
ask.
medical
Like,
stuff?
not like I've studied medical texts.
I am open to that conversation. Talk to me, Aldrich.
I mean, Aldrich's kind of done a study of a lot of things when he kind of spent a lot of time in the library back at home, what library we had. So like he would absorb any book we had. So even like the equivalent of like basic medical care, just as a study thing, not even necessarily in practice, but like knowing good ways to like keep himself or keep a sick subject in the best conditions to beat a disease.
So, and I think people know this about me as a GM. The only one who is a bigger fan of Aldrich than Nate is me, right? So I am a huge fan of the player. So so I'm always looking for a way to make this work. So in my mind, the way I'm going to justify this is you've got 3, you're not the only patient, right? So you're seeing symptoms from 3 other players. You're a bookish guy. So I am good with that, which is you piecing together all of the books you've read and I'm thinking maybe the medical journals that you found in Oakenheart weren't the first books you read, but you've had like, how old are you?
31.
Yeah, so you've had 20 some odd years, right? At least of reading every book in Oakenheart.
Pretty much every book available in Oakenheart that wasn't someone's personal journal. I
Exactly.
probably
And you could
read.
even imagine that some of this, because this is in fact a side effect of magic, that as you were doing your magic training,
Yep.
right? People talked about, hey,
Mhm.
side effects are sometimes like this, and
Side effects
you
may
have to
include.
exactly,
Side effects
you
might
might end up
include.
with a fever because you did cast flight,
You could.
Do
whatever.
not cast fly spell if you were allergic to any of its ingredients.
If you were allergic to harpy
And
feathers.
that might have even come because I didn't really have a dedicated tutor back home, but like when I was with the mages in Amber's Peak,
Right.
they might have had more info on cast botches. So let's do lore then. We're gonna push it. I
What?
need as
No
much as
Banes,
possible.
so confusing.
No Banes. Ooh.
Nice.
Look, somebody wants to live.
Someone will live.
Tell our story.
Aldrich is pulling every trick out of the book.
Which is only appropriate since it is his fault.
So real recap before I roll my 11 dice.
Wait, Vasilla has to roll for Vasilla.
I have to roll my actual
Oh,
endurance
that's
as well.
right. So you
yes.
got to roll your
Mhm.
actual endurance.
1.
As good as it gets.
All right.
Oh, no.
All right. So
I'm going to
We
kill
got
myself for sure.
Vasilla 1, Osric 2, Sten 2, Aldrich 4. Does that sound right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
it.
So Coda, to answer your question, we kind of were confused by this as well. It's 2d6 virulence. So we had to roll 2d6 to determine the virulence, and it rolled a 5 and a 6. So the
Yeah, so-
virulence is 11.
We got the Black Plague.
And now we roll 11.
Now you roll 11 dice in the, in
All
the
right.
comparison.
Are we ready?
No, but go for
Ready
it.
as will to be.
I think I should go to credits. I really do.
God damn it. Greg.
No, I'm not going to.
This will give you however many we. Oh Jesus. Okay.
42?
No, 42
Wait.
doesn't tell us. We got to count. We got
Yeah, you gotta
1,
count dice.
2, 3, 4 successes.
So you don't even get healthy because you need to win by 1.
Oh, you
So
actually
we
have
are
to
all
win.
sick and
So
take
hold
the
on a
damage.
second. Hold on a second.
Is this for each person or just one at a time?
No, that
If you
makes
fail
good
the
sense.
roll. All right, hold on.
Yeah, because it's an opposed
I
roll.
think
and you
today
did
we
not win.
just take the damage.
You just
Actually, I
take
don't
one.
know if we wind up making the
kills
rolls until the
Osric.
following day.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you die after another day if you don't get well before then.
Mm-hmm.
If your strength is
Okay.
broken when sick, you die after another day
Mm-hmm.
if you don't get well before then.
So I
You've
get
got
one more chance to heal
you got
you.
one more chance, Osric.
Fantastic.
As
Stop
soon as
rolling
you
like that.
succeed at a sickness roll, you are no longer sick. So here's the situation. First of all, everybody takes their damage.
Mhm, done.
The only one that breaks is Osric.
No, I break 2 if we're all taking damage.
Yeah, because he did not beat the roll of 4.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we start episode 19, we're still, I mean, it's a brand new day. You guys have a whole day alive. Problem is
Alive.
Osric's broken, so Osric can't do crap.
Mm-hmm.
Aldrich is broken. So we're going to start episode 19 with the 2 of you broken. Sten and Vasilla are still here. How much strength do you have left, Vasilla? 1. Sten?
2.
Yeah, I think we're dead. Like I
Mhm.
can't beat
Yeah, seriously.
unless the virulence rolls utter crap.
Or a magical healer wanders by.
Druid shows up.
Yeah.
Let's go to credits.
Oh.
We'll be right back.
Oof. Why we have to go do this at the beginning of 19 is because we gotta scrub the table clean, reset that luck mechanic.
As
Jesus.
always, and I can't stop myself, let alone ask the players to stop talking during the credits. So a few things that kind of to bring everybody up to speed as we continue the conversation. You know, I said one of the confessions I had during the credits was, am I wrong for loving this about the game? And you know what it is that, and this is why soapbox. I'm going to step on it real quick. You've got to have a session 0, not just for Forbidden Lands, but for everything else. And this is the second or third group now I've run through Forbidden Lands, and like freaking Jim's dwarf character in our home game almost died picking berries. Right. So you've got to have this conversation where you say, you know what, this is not hero fantasy. This is survival fantasy, which means, yeah, you might whip the shit out of a troll and 4 well-equipped magic users, and you might survive a dragon attacking a town, and you might survive a castle full of the dead. But trying to go north could end up killing you unless you don't bring a sorcerer. But
no more
It's-
casters.
Why would you just walk into the grass when you could fly?
All right, hold on. I want to defend myself here. I would have had 1 die if I tried to do stealth or move.
And now you have 4 die. It'll be great.
You're a human. Come up with something better.
I
So-
did.
I mean,
and
Did you though?
so
you have to
often
admit it would have been amazing had he just flown away.
Mm.
It would have been pretty cool.
yeah, and Sidewinder, I thought about that, and I kind of made the call, but you're not wrong, Sidewinder. I'm a big fan of the idea, and I gotta be honest with you, I was not, God, a year ago, I don't think I would have made this argument. There's this concept of playing the story or allowing the story to emerge from play. And this is a concept in role playing that I'm just starting to wrap my head around. Anthony Boyd, Runeslinger, is somebody who is a strongly in the camp of story emerges from play. And that is how he prefers to role play, right? He does not want to role play to find out what happens. Or he doesn't want to find out what happens by role playing. He wants to find what happens is from role play, right? From the game, we find out, and story just happens. And I got to tell you, every day that I think about it, every day that I spend more time with Anthony, I'm more and more in his camp. And worst case scenario, episode 19, we lose these 4 players or these characters. So I'm not going to kill the players. But I got to tell you, it's a hell of a story, right? A lot has happened, and the world has ground them down. And it is very easy for us to build the narrative around either result. It's the virulence rolled 4 successes. Mathematically, it should have been like 2 1/4 or 2 1/3 successes. I gotta do the math, right? So the virulence rolled well. The virulence could have rolled 0, and they would all be cured today. And that could happen tomorrow in game time. But I think that we as people can make it all make sense. Now, the struggle is that, it sucks because I love these 4 characters. And if we lose any of them, I'll be pretty disappointed. But guess what? If we keep playing, we're going to fall in love with the next character, and, and it'll be okay. But what's key here is, and I know it's one thing to say it in session 0. It's another thing to play 18 sessions and fall in love with these characters, but kind of knew it going into this a little bit. And that's not going to make it easier if we lose one of these characters, but it's important. So real quick, I saw Lord Malice. I've been running Symbaroum, and it's deadly as well. But the thing my groups run into the most trouble with is travel and natural weather incidents. Yeah. Which quite honestly, depending on the type of game, right? Like, that's part of Symbaroum. Symbaroum is a dark, gritty game. And when we go camping for Camping with Gamers, we bring a ton of gear. You put me out in the woods without that gear, and it's not going to go well, right?
No,
Like,
Craig, if we learned
food
nothing
and
today, we've
fun.
learned that less gear is better.
That's true.
Because if you're
no kidding.
encumbered, everything goes
See-
to hell.
It's the car camping part that makes it.
That's right.
Uh,
It is the fact that you are not far from those things. That's fine.
Also, Craig is immediately going to cancel subscription to Pretty Art Maker.
yeah, so
Because-
we had talked about that during the break. Like, is there a character like Mid-Journey curse for the new character art? Okay. So normally we ask 2 questions. We do stars and wishes, which is my new tradition on the channel. We're going to do 3. And I'm just going to go clockwise as you see it on the stream, which means I start with Jim. let's start with stars and wishes. And Jim, I'm expanding stars a little bit. I think maybe since the last time we've done stars and wishes, we've been assigning people stars. I want to start assigning moments stars, which might include people, right? And players.
Uh-huh.
So what was the star of this episode? What was the big moment? And I want to couch it a little bit like what was, and you may not have gotten there, but what was the closest you got to full immersion? When did you fall into the game the deepest during this session? Where everything became more real, you saw it, you felt it. What was your star moment?
Let's see. So I'm not sure I'm gonna go with my immersion moment, but I think the star moment is for me is actually Aldrich takes flight. Because I think that that is a moment where, like I said, it's like we all said, oh, you should have come up with something else. Like something else is a way that you would get away, right? Like you're gonna sneak, you're gonna survive, you're gonna whatever you're gonna do. But like Aldrich is so becoming even more so as he, when he lost his arm because he's so reliant upon magic as a thing now, right? I think that he, like at his very beginning, he was very craftsman-y, as well as, sort of, learning about and kind of beginning magic. But as we've progressed through these 18 episodes, right, magic is becoming more and more and more important to him.
Yeah.
And so when he was presented with, I could flip an adaptive coin and try survival for 5 dice, or I can fly away from these harpies. Aldrich chose flight.
Yep.
And it was this grand gesture of, sweeping himself up to move away, and so it was absolutely the thing that Aldrich would do here.
Could not agree more. All right, wishes. Other than live.
Honestly, like,
So let's assume, and I'm going to put the wishes this way. I'm going to assume you live. Okay. So what is, or maybe your wish is I want to roll up a new character. I'm tired of.
It's funny because we all have these backup characters that are sort of sitting around, right? We've talked about them before, right? The goblins, and or if we make other decisions, right? We have backup characters, and it, like the idea of Osric not making it, and the character that I have as my backup character, I feel like this is actually a very interesting opportunity for that character to come into this party. I don't know if I want to go too much further
Yeah,
into
please go ahead.
But so the character that's sitting on the bench for me is a goblin druid, and he has healing. And so you could absolutely imagine that as Osric, he may not get here in time to save Osric, but you could imagine that he somehow provides the assistance that allows the others, if anybody survives, right? And I think if nobody survives, right, we actually hard reboot and we don't have anything to do with this. But if like 2 people survive and 2 people don't survive,
Yeah.
then I could absolutely imagine that this goblin comes in and casts healing magic on the 2 that are left just in time, right? And that's represented in their roles of success, right? Is that he happens across. So I think that's a very interesting story point for him, in
It
a
is.
way that integrates this rando goblin into a party of humans that come from Oakenheart, right? That don't have any reason to trust a goblin that shows up out of the middle of nowhere.
It forces a reason.
Right. It provides that story reason that, hey, this
Interesting.
guy just saved all of our lives, or some of our lives. So that matters.
Especially if we're like fever dreams and like this like shadowy thing, we wake up, it's a freaking goblin.
Right, and it's something that the party hasn't really encountered before. So I think that's
Yep.
a very interesting story point.
Sure.
Yeah.
I
So
think you
if-
greatly increase the chances that Vasila is going to stab Osric tonight.
and I mean, I love this little goblin. He's got a lot of different little quirky things going for him. So I think he's super cool. But so if Osric were to die, I think that's an exciting wish.
You'd be okay.
I think I'd be absolutely okay with it. And if Osric lives, I think that's great too.
Yeah.
I think that he has opportunities to grow and move forward as a person.
All right. So Brian, do you want to play your bench character, or do you hope Sten lives?
So here's what I'm thinking about. And first of all, I just want to say that all of the abuse I was giving about, why did you choose to fly rather than run? That's obviously just smack.
Of course.
That was
Sure,
the right
I
choice
get
for the
you.
character.
I,
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
I
I
understand.
It was
completely.
I'd like to make it
perfect.
clear. Mhm.
Perfect, Nate, role
Um,
playing.
what I would say is that I want someone in this party to live.
Yeah.
I would need there to be continuity, because if it turns out that we all die to this disease, I don't know that I would have the mental fortitude to say, "Yeah, let's just reboot and start a new campaign with these guys." I mean, I probably would because I love playing with you guys, but
Yeah.
I would need some time.
Well, and I'm going to
Um,
quickly inject here just real quick because
mhm,
this was something I was going to do at the end, but maybe I should say it now. I have a couple thoughts about a hard reboot, right? All four
mhm,
characters die. I think we have two choices, three
mhm,
choices. Three choices is, damn, that was a shit ton of fun.
mhm.
And everybody that's playing right now will be on this channel again, right? This is not the last time that I'm going to have you guys at my table. Second option, which I'll tell you of the three of these is my least favorite, is we reboot, four new characters starting a different part of Ravensland,
Mhm.
and we start anew. What's tough about that is we've learned a lot as players, and I think that takes away. My preference would be either let's walk away or let's play Bitter Reach,
Okay,
Ooh.
right? So
I
what
can
we
see
could do
that.
is start up north,
Okay.
Mm,
which is a completely different story, a completely different thing. It's a completely different game with the same mechanics, quite frankly.
Sure.
So that would be my recommendation: is we either decide let's walk away and maybe we'll come back to Forbidden Lands someday. We've
Mhm.
got a whole new a book coming out very quickly that takes us to the west, to Aslander and stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, there'd be all kinds of options for us to start again with new characters. I don't think those, Brian, I'd want to play with the four of you in Ravensland.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think that makes sense.
That's fair. As far as the great moment or the most
Yeah, the star.
impactful moment, what I would say is that I have learned through playing and GMing that the best way to deliver a gut punch is to have hope and then take it away again. And when we chucked the helmet away and the harpies all went flying off and we all stuck off into the woods, I was like, all right, we're gonna be okay.
Yep.
This was bad, but we're gonna make it. And then everything blew up. And
Yeah.
that hurt.
Yep.
And
In a way that we like to play, right? Like,
sure.
yeah.
And I am sure that by this time tomorrow, I will be really appreciating this moment for what it is. But at the moment, I'm just kind of cranky and bitter like Sten.
Ah. But you know what? What's funny about that to me, Brian, and you and
Mhm.
I are on the hill of this is just the greatest hobby.
Sure, sure, sure.
Is like this doesn't happen with board games. This doesn't happen playing Magic the Gathering or playing
Mhm.
Malifaux, right? Like
Mhm.
there's something so unique about what the five of us have experienced after all of these episodes. And reading a book doesn't do this in the same
Mhm.
way because you can have the same level of emotions reading a book, but the other four people aren't there,
Right.
right? Like for us as a group to have done what we've done, and
Mhm.
hopefully we'll do again, is pretty freaking unique. And you,
Mhm.
if you listen to the podcast, you hear me talk about that with different designers. Like, why do these people pick up the worst business model in the world, which is designing role-playing games, and
Yep.
care about it as much as they do? And it's because it's so damn unique. So let's talk wishes then, Brian. And we can talk about wishes as far as the
Yeah,
bench. Like,
it's kind of like what I said. As long as I would like there to be some continuity. I would like there to be
yeah,
a. I think your choice is right. If we do all wind up dying, give us a fresh start somewhere else.
yeah,
But yeah, I hope that at least someone survives this.
me too. All
And
right, Nate.
I could just imagine how horribly ironic it would be if it was Sten, who has been
I think
trying
I think it's
to kill
likely to
himself
be
from the
Stan.
rest of the party all this time.
I got to tell you though, like story wise, I mean, you thought Sten was bitter with the three of his compadres alive. He loses Vasilla,
Oh
Aldrich, and
my
Osric.
god.
He's
Never
gonna be an
lets it in
order, son of a
again.
bitch.
Uh, that then I think at this point we end the campaign and Sten is just like an NPC and they say he
Mhm.
still walks the land to this day.
I think by
That's-
sheer rage, he takes out Zertome.
becomes
he
a
takes
revenant.
Cypher
Oh,
out.
God.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
an
Like, can you
emotional
imagine
death.
just three
Exactly.
goblins and Sten?
Oh my God.
Like,
We're just his lackeys.
like,
Like
I
Sten's
totally
jaw is
imagine that
falling
these
off and he
goblins
has
have
one
just a
eye.
little
And he's just,
Vasilla energy,
Oh
just a
my
little bit
God.
of that Vasilla energy,
Sten
where
the
they're like, "Hey Sten,
undying.
hey Sten, hey Sten, guess
Sten.
what? Hey Sten, guess what?"
Hey, Stan.
Oh my
no.
God! Look, if the three of us stand on each other's shoulders, we're tall as you, Stan.
yeah.
All right. So Nate,
Oh man.
d- and again, like, there's no right answer here, but if I gave you the choice, would you want to continue playing Aldrich? Or are you ready to try on a new character?
God, I mean, I could honestly, this is kind of the way I am with Aldrich. I mean, it's kind of up to the dice.
Yeah,
Like, that's not my choice to make.
I like it.
I have to live with either way. He could take himself out, or I mean, the scenario I see that has the strongest impact that isn't like overboard is one other character dies that isn't Aldrich. And especially if it's Osric. Because Osric has just been a lightning rod. And that's another, like, that is like a big thorn.
Yeah.
And I'm considering how ready I am for that.
Yeah, there's I mean, like, I go through it here just talking with you guys. I'm like, Vasilla dying would be brutal
Yeah.
to the
Oh,
to the
that's
other
yeah.
three.
that
But
is a
let's
huge weight.
let's talk about Sten dying. That would be brutal. It
Yeah,
would.
it's
I'm telling you. And then we talk
Die-
about Aldrich dying, and suddenly it's real.
dying- Sten dying like this.
Yeah.
Right.
Sten dying in combat wouldn't be so bad.
Right.
As much as
as often
grim
as
as
he
that is
tried to
to
get us
say.
to run away.
Sten Deathwish the Hunter.
if Sten dies in a fight, that is a death Aldrich would be
Yeah.
would be able to come
Mhm.
to terms with.
Sure. Sure.
Anyone dies like this,
And also, I think for Aldrich, right? Like, I think Aldrich, at least in some way, knows that this is related to his magic. I would expect.
Oh, he doesn't. I in my mind, he 100% knows.
oh yeah,
And so, like, you could imagine he's like, "Oh, it's harpies,
The
and they
guilt,
got us sick
yeah.
or whatever." But like the idea that Aldrich, you know,
I did
made
this.
Sten ill and caused
I-
that would be.
Aldrich knew, and I couldn't bear to say it to anyone
Mhm.
else because he had that he has that weight of they know, they already know.
Well, let's also talk about, not to like shovel on poor Aldrich, but you failed that freaking watch roll too.
huh?
Like,
Yeah.
you make that watch roll and you see the harpies flying off in the distance, and you avoid them.
Yeah,
Yes, I love
it's
this
not Aldrich's
game.
best. Not Aldrich's
right.
best.
So that was and what was the star moment? I don't think we did the star. We're talking about wishes.
Yeah,
What was like the key moment this, because it was a weird episode in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very.
Not a lot
our-
happened
Not our
until everything
typical.
happened.
Yeah. I'd probably say, kind of a standout that hasn't been mentioned. Kind of the domino is the harpy at my shoulders, trying to take my stuff. Just that is like this domino.
All right, Dave. Thoughts, and then we'll do stars and wishes.
Yeah, it's funny because we had that conversation about, like, I don't know, superhero fantasy gaming versus, this, whatever, probably 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Maybe it's only 3, whatever. But like recent, but not in the way time is goofy and stupid. And I'm like, if we all die, I feel like we had this like super fun experience that like we're gonna like tell stories about later and make jokes about killing baby bears, and like it's gonna be it'll be good, right? Have been complete and fun and wonderful, right? And then we'll hopefully, I don't want to not play anymore, so like I'm pro finding a different something
Yeah.
to play with this crew. So like, it is what it is. Like, are we going to struggle to try to keep up? Sure. Is it like sad? Yes, but not like depressing,
Right.
if that makes sense. So yeah, so I think it'd be, and I think any of the other options I'd end up with Sten is the most likely person to live, and like, like two of us are down. Maybe they'll die, maybe they won't. We'll see. But that's fun. Star wise, I think it was a weird grindy episode to start.
Yep.
Like I felt like our whole table energy was off, and we are like kind of like rules and like bookkeeping and kind of just like stuff that we haven't done in a long time, right? Because like all of Amber's Peak was very like moving, right? We were doing stuff, and we were like had moment after moment after moment, scene after scene after scene. And then we were like, oh well, this is the like breathe in and out. We like spend experience. Like where are we going? What are we doing? Just kind of like actual rules. Which is boring, right? But necessary.
Yeah,
Um,
has
and
to
then
happen.
and then that moment just kind of like switched on its head and then went. And so I was with you on like the I think your monster descriptions are always really awesome. Like they're always
Oh, good.
like
Yes.
you like and I just watched The Last Unicorn on Sunday at a movie theater, and there's like a harpy attack in that movie if you've never seen it.
I've
And
never
so
seen
it
it.
like was that's great. It's an 80s cartoon movie,
Uh-huh.
but it's awesome. Anyway, so there's a harpy attack, and it reminded me of that. So it was really good.
Good.
I really liked that. Stars, so that was my star, and wishes is I don't know, man. I feel like what you're saying, right? Whatever happens, I think we'll roll really well with it, and I'll be like satisfied with
Yeah.
half the party dying, none of the party dying, all of us dying. Like all of those have pathways to like an enjoyable story and being fun and fulfilling. So I don't have a wish in that arena.
All right. So lightning round. Everybody dies. Hard reboot. You say either Bitter Reach or a new system. Jim?
Oh, that's a tough call.
Lightning round.
Oh, come back to me.
Brian,
That's
Bitter
not how
Reach
this works.
or
What
new
new
system?
system?
Does I don't know.
Well, that will depend on my answer.
Oh God, look, like lightning
new
round is
system it
really
is.
goddamn easy. I've got two
New
people
system
making
is the
it
answer.
hard.
Always a new system, because then we get to learn how to
Jesus.
make characters
Yep,
in a new
sure.
system. And I love
Okay,
that.
I'll buy that.
All right, new system. Jim, new system. Nate.
Yeah, no, I think I fall in the same boat. I think we, set this book down for a minute and move on
Okay.
to something new.
Dave.
Um, I'd go Bitter Reach, other than unnamed new system.
All right, beautiful. Everybody knows the routine. You like, subscribe, blah blah blah. We just got a new patron today, so big thank you to our patrons that join up. Just total aside, and there was the journey of the podcast and the views and things has been very interesting. It's a journey I've only been viewable to, but I changed formats about two and a half years ago, where I was very focused on miniature gaming and specifically Malifaux, and then I switched over to role playing games, and the not only full recovery of viewership, listens, and patrons has happened. It happened about 4 months ago, where I met my previous Malifaux levels, but since then this has been the highest. I've got more viewers, more listeners, and more patrons than I've ever had in the history of this. So I appreciate everybody that stuck through this transition of following me through this, because a lot of you stayed through the whole thing, and I really appreciate the new people that have found us. So if you don't listen to the podcast, please check it out. It's something that I'm very proud of. And if you've been enjoying Forbidden Lands, you've got Call of Cthulhu waiting for you. You've got Fear itself waiting for you. You've got Mothership, which I can't believe you haven't watched yet. There's a lot of really good stuff that I've been so lucky to have so many players on. Got to check out Brian's podcast. Go ahead, Brian.
It's the Ascent of Board Games. Ascent is in going up. It's a monthly podcast. We talk about board games.
And it's phenomenal. Phenomenal. One of the best board games out there. Nate, your podcast?
Yeah, Steam Powered Scoundrels. Talking about those Malifaux listeners / viewers. Talk about Malifaux.
Jim's going to plug 3 Men in a
tomorrow.
War Game.
I can definitely do that. 3 Minute War Game. They're back. They're doing episodes again. It's a lot of fun.
I was worried they weren't going to come back. I was really happy
I
that
was
they did.
not unworried.
Dave, what is non-third floor war content that people should grab? A book, a movie, a podcast? What are you loving right now?
You should go watch The Last Unicorn. That movie is awesome. Like I
That's
love
cool.
it's from my kid childhood and it's awesome. It's not a kids movie. It's
Beautiful animation.
Based on the Peter
yeah.
S. Beagle, yeah.
Yep. Music
Yeah.
by America. Come on.
Oh, dude. Huge selling point. My shout out is to you, Dave, because we just finished our first season 1 of our local game of Blades in the Dark, and it's been
Woo.
freaking
Nice.
amazing.
Awesome.
And then what we have decided in our local game is we're going to start rotating GMs. So we've got Coyote and Crow that we're going to start playing locally, and I'm super excited about that. But Dave, you kicked serious ass on that
Oh, thank
Blades
you.
Yeah,
game.
man.
Yeah, and playing at a table full of a bunch of GMs and stuff like that, that's not easy, dude. And that was the first time you ran Blades. That was some good shit.
Yeah. First time I ran Blades. First time I DM'd or GM'd in like 25 years or something.
Oh,
since
I
was
didn't
in
know
college.
that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah, 20
Good.
years. But yeah.
So good. So good. All right. Speaking of Blades, Sunday, if you want to check us out, we're going to do the next episode of Blades in the Dark on Sunday. And it's pretty nutty. That ended on a cliffhanger. Take care, everybody.
Shocker.
Very.
Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow,